Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting evening of TCH Live. It's Wednesday night, 5-10 and a quarter, no limit hold'em. I'm your host, Ben K, alongside my esteemed co-host, Aaron McAvoy. What's up, Aaron?
Not a whole lot, man. Good to be here. Happy to be joining you here on this Wednesday evening for this very special game. So looking forward to it.
Absolutely fun times to be had over the next 4 hours. 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. live from Dallas, Texas. This is Texas Card House, Dallas. And we have a table full of high-stakes crushers ready to put on a show for you this evening. If you're just now joining us, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the stream, leave a comment in the chat, and if you're watching this after the stream, in future YouTube Poker Land, make sure you leave a comment below. Would love to hear from you as we get into a $25 PLO Bomb Pot.
Haven't played too much.
Don't know what these are? Everybody, Annie's up 25 bucks. Everyone gets 4 cards face down, and we immediately go to a flop, and then you play Pot Limit Omaha. Flop, turn, and river. Excuse me, you get 2 boards on the bomb pots. So 2 flops come out, 2 turns, 2 rivers. With betting on the flop, turn, and river.
Yeah, we're playing.
Best high hand on both boards wins half the pot. Trying to scoop, as we always are.
Heck yeah, that's the best feeling ever when you just have a really good hand on both boards. You get to take the whole pot. You don't have to share with anybody.
You know, you either meet people that really love these kind of hands or hate playing bomb pots because you either win amazing bloated pots that you didn't deserve to win, or the opposite end, you just have a soul-crushing loss where you get scooped where you thought you were almost nutted on both boards.
Or my personal favorite, which is you put your entire stack like $2,000–$3,000 in the middle and then chop it for a profit of like 45 bucks.
Yeah, and then also you paid time for the dealer to chop a 12-minute chop.
That's
but
right.
I like them. It's fun to switch it up. It's fun to play. Know that you're at least going to play 1 crazy pot per hour. And there's no shortage of those here in Dallas, so this is kind of just icing on the cake. You're in for a treat tonight, folks. Mr. Delivery is there. I saw Lex O from the vlogging land.
Yeah, Lex O here joining us in the streets. Always a pleasure to see him here on the stream, as well as all of our more local players here. As well as a couple of players that I haven't particularly had that much experience with. The RV Phil here, Bridge Mike, going to be, I think, new players to me, unless I'm mistaken.
Yeah, Bridge Mike and RV Phil, pretty regular in the Dallas area, but they probably just weren't here when you've commentated. RV Phil actually works in the RV industry, and Bridge Mike is apparently, the story is, one of the top-rated bridge players in the world, or at least was.
Oh, very cool, very cool. Bridge is a very fun game. Have you dabbled in that, my good friend?
No, I haven't. I've always known family members that played it, but I've never pursued it.
Yeah, bridge, spades, hearts, like, oh, super fun games. Fun 4-player games.
Yeah, spades is fun for sure. I don't even know. Looks like there's a boat on bottom for RV Phil. And Jack's full for Mr. Delivery on top.
So you gotta bet. We gotta squeeze them.
Okay, looks like I'm going to need to restart my browser here to get the chat working. Give me just 1 second. I'll be back in a moment because I need to see who all is hanging out with us here in chat still.
I had hearts. Hey, I had hearts too. I had hearts.
We'll see if this is a net positive or net negative for Mr. Delivery to win the first hand.
We can play the squeeze game. We're just getting warmed up. It's the first hand.
This man's got all kinds of energy.
It's a little tougher when there's 8 cards.
Kicker Problems in the chat says, what up, Ben K and Aaron? What up? Can anybody out there let me know if I'm clipping or not? It feels like I'm maybe loud on the
let's go back
output. From the input, actually. As long as it sounds okay to y'all. It's all right. To me, it sounds like it's clipping a bit. Man, I haven't seen Lex O in forever. Still jacked and tan, as always.
I was hoping Phil put a little tickler out there.
Two-card game. 2 cards face down. No limit. Texas Rhythm. RV Phil raising right away. UTG1 under the gun.
I'm assuming someone lost their shirt.
Where did you go play that pickleball at? Was that I don't know. A crackhead place.
For guys that do nothing.
All right, I am back. Chat is working. Doesn't look like I've got all of the first comments here from you guys, so I'll just have to chime in for what I can see here. We've got Skullbone and Reina hanging out with us at the very least, so welcome to the show, guys.
Welcome. King, Queen, Jack, opening a straight draw for Miguel, pair and a straight draw for RV Phil. Hearts on turn, changes nothing.
Damn, I like the way you feel.
Seem to remember Miguel being all about action. I may be mistaken, but he seems like action.
It'll get a little out of hand.
RV Phil having raised pre with the ace-jack facing aggression on
He never talks about that. I wonder why.
Man, I would just
Going to call.
playing basketball for money, man. My role would be gone.
You ever talk about what
Big river card coming. 9 perfect for Miguel. King high straight. Checks.
I believe you. I 100%.
Check, check. Straight got there, and Miguel is going to take it down.
Yeah, pretty solid run out there for the old 10-7.
Yeah. Wonder if he'd be better served putting a little blocker style bet out there to try to get a little extra on the end. You just hate when it goes check, check. But also, what else is betting on the river?
Yeah, I mean that's sort of the thing is, yeah, you gotta try to get your value there if you're gonna be out of position because yeah, like nobody's ever betting a 2-pair or even a set at that point. But you know, just see if your opponent wants to take a stab. Sometimes they just end up there with an air ball every once in a while, maybe some sort of flush opportunity that missed. You never know. Anyways. On to the next, and yeah, 5, 10, 25 here for the rest of the evening. So $25 straddle, or rather, largest blind.
Or Paolo. I'll take my pound of flesh for Paolo.
Keep things nice and spicy here. Most of these players buying in for 5K, it looks like, so effectively 200 blinds for most of these players. Still pretty deep, but by Texas standards, I'd say
Right. A little light.
yeah, I mean it's reasonable, but it's nothing too out of the ordinary.
In any normal poker room, this would be, to your point, very reasonable. Ace King versus tens. Here we go again. Pair and a straight draw for both. Excuse me, my
Dark Knight Rises.
screen plugging in. This is 3 people. Safine. Ace King high. 7 on the turn. Miguel with pair and a straight draw in the lead. Can he make it a kill pot 2 in a row?
Hard to be Batman. Hard to be young Batman in like a upcoming adaptation.
Yeah, nobody going to feel too inspired with their holdings, though, as they don't hold the top pair, and it's very connected. Sabine here, though, is just going to get to see all the cards and try to improve to a superior hand. Doesn't get there with the overcards and the gutty. So Miguel is just going to get to show down the winner here after checking through flop, turn, and river. Pretty good result for the King Jack O.
Yeah, we'll take it 2 pots in a row from Miguel.
We just keep those pots coming towards us. Let's be honest.
Nice to start the session winning, but you got to maintain it for 4 hours. That's how long we're going to be here. 5, 10 and a quarter.
Really?
Thank you everybody joining us tonight, spending your evening with us. Getting off work, making dinner, maybe ignoring your parenting responsibilities. This is the best way to spend your Wednesday night, so we appreciate everybody joining us.
Neymar still didn't play, yeah?
No. He's out for the rest.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely also want to give a big shout out to the opening of the TCH Houston down there. What an amazing turnout for the tournaments to start things off. That building was packed to the brim, wall to wall in there for those first couple of tournaments. Saw some
28 total tables full, I heard.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. And there'll be plenty more tournaments coming at you in Houston as well. So if anybody is in or around the Houston area looking to play some tournaments throughout the week, there's PLO, there's No Limit Hold'em, all kinds of good stuff going to be coming at you all through the week. Daily tournaments running. I'll come back to that in just a moment. We've got a couple of top pair holdings here doing saddle, RV Phil and Mr. Delivery.
I see how it's going to be, Phil.
And Mr. Delivery here just releasing the top pair 9 kicker to what a single bet there. I didn't quite catch the action, but
Oh, dude, we're hairy people.
As you
Yeah,
can
you
see there, the full lineup of tournaments, Thursday through Sunday, at Texas Card House Houston, $20 all the way up to a $300 buy-in, 10K on Saturday, which I'm sure will steamroll past that guarantee. Great times. It's always good to see a new room do well on opening day. It looked like an awesome environment there, packed to the brim.
Yeah.
But only up to, I'm like,
Safine with the 2 jiggities. Did you go over there?
That's great.
no, definitely did not make it down. There was some local tournament action here in town in Austin, but no, I got to see some pictures from the weekend, and yeah, it was just absolutely blasting. So it would have been a great time, but unfortunately didn't get to make it down there for that.
And apparently a live stream coming soon from the Houston area as well, so that will be fun to switch up the locale.
Absolutely
Top for
right.
Miguel.
and
bottom set for Paolo.
Safine here, even going to take a little stab at this. Just the 1 overcard 3 to a straight. And he's going to just get called in 2 spots, and disastrous turn here for Miguel.
Outside of your calf, not the inside of your calf.
Now top 2
for Miguel.
Yeah, I don't have
And
hair on the
Safine
outside.
hard blocking the straight
Like here.
with the jack of spades. I mean, he's got definitely some opportunities to do some things of his own, but this betting could just get out of hand real quick and then sort of take away those options. Yeah, the writing's on the wall. He's not even going to try to bluff into 2 opponents, so he'll get out of there.
Oh, ace is full, goes perfect for Miguel. Paolo with the inferior 5s full. This sucks for Paolo. Oh no.
Quick bet of 1,000 here from Paolo, and Miguel snap raising to 2.5x. This feels
Paolo
super
knows this is
gross.
strong. Yeah. Paolo's also thinking like, do I really run this bad, bro?
Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
Yeah, I mean,
Flop is
so
set, river up.
his issue, of course, is that he can beat some of the value, like ace-jack is very much, I mean, you don't give Miguel a ton of credit for ace-king just because he called the 75 pre-flop. You'd think that he's going to raise on the button with that hand. But you could definitely give him ace-jack and see him raising that for value. So yeah, you're kind of just handcuffed into paying this off, but that is an exceptionally bad run out for the pocket 5s. Nasty, nasty spot there for Paolo. He is going to get chipped down to under 2K on hand number 5, Miguel here, all the way up to nearly 5 figures.
Paolo really just the recipient of Cooler City. Taking it in stride, though. This guy's a pro, and so he's just like, well, I will be adding on. Nothing, I mean, I don't know what you're supposed to do. I don't know who finds a fold on river there.
Yeah, if you have like a lot of history with your opponents and you kind of just know that someone is just never going to raise the river that thinly, right? I mean, it's a 2.5x, so it's like, this is value. It's just always value. And now how strong can that value be versus like, will they raise ace-jack in that spot? And if they will, then you can definitely find enough combos there to convince yourself that it's not always just ace-10, ace-queen, but at the same time, yeah, it's always borderline. Raises on the river are just almost always really strong value.
Trying to see how depleted I am.
Can I add on right now, or do I have to wait till the next day?
Depends on how good your hand is. Is it good?
Let me tell you,
I raise.
it's better with the IRS than
Oh yeah, can I add on right now? I'm just kidding. I know the answer to my own question. I can do that.
Yeah, damn, maybe I should be less
How
happy
much can we
that
add on?
Raise from RV Field to 400, which is pretty strong.
Yeah.
Miguel
pretty
limped
strong.
cut off at 8-6. Textbook punishing the limpers, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, that's a 16x raise. Is going to show his neighbor, but we don't get to see the card. Anytime you raise to 16x, I feel like something's a little bit out of whack, you know? If you mix that in consistently, where you kind of just like do some standard stuff and then all of a sudden out of the blue you do that, and you do it in a balanced way, I don't hate it, because it's so weird
Where are you traveling
that
to next?
it'll throw people off. And one of the players that does that the best in the nosebleed stakes is
No big trips.
Michael Adamo, right? Like a lot of people who watch sort of the Poker Go stuff and things of that nature will see him playing from time to time in these massive buy-in events. And he'll do maybe not 16x raises, you know, when it's a single raise pot, something like that in this kind of environment, but just some like massive overbets. And players who have studied a lot of GTO in normal positions, you know, are just never going to be studying these spots. So it can put them in a very awkward position. So I do love to see the sort of off-the-wall massive bets, but you know, you can also just like completely miss out on any value. Like let's say you just had aces there, right? Like I mean, nobody
Forcing
put any money in
everyone
the
to
fold, so that would suck.
Yeah.
So, gotta be careful.
Yeah.
Aiden Adamo's super young too, like early 20s type.
I mean, he's not old. I wouldn't speculate on his age, but I mean, yeah, I can't imagine he's very old at all.
3s and 5s for Miguel now. 2 pair. Lex O with air, gonna bet 100, trying to take it down here. So delivery's gonna go to the second pair. Quick call from Miguel. Jack. Gives Lex O a little bit of straight life, and how about a full house again? The river for Miguel. Goes check.
Yeah, Lex here not gonna go for it.
Wise
The
check
end.
back.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the king
Shrewd.
10 there, if he has a heart, of course, going to be a lot more inclined to take a stab at it, see if he can get some ace high or some pairs around the free regime to fold it out, but yeah, wisely just shuts it down there and take further damage.
So you mentioned you were playing deuce to 7 earlier. How was your deuce to 7 experience today?
It was lovely. I always enjoy that game. Like, I've gotten whacked a few times. I've had a few really big winning sessions. And, you know, the bottom line of it's always important, but there's something about playing that game that is just so enjoyable that I only got to play for a couple hours. I mean, really not even that. We got started a little bit late. We usually start at 4 and play until the wee hours. But, yeah, even just the hour and a half or something that we played was just so much fun. Good
and
guys.
It's 5-10 no limit single?
We do, yeah, 5-10 with a $10 button ante, and then straddles available in front of the button. So, you know, pretty often the 20 is on.
Nice.
And then you must raise to come in. So min raise or more, and it is no limit. Yeah. So yeah, it starts to play pretty big. Certainly by the end of the evening, some pretty big stacks on the table. But it's just it's the best game ever. I really think that more people should get into that game. You know, it's like people talk about Omaha and how more people should play Omaha. We've got the bomb pots, and people are being more exposed to it every day. But there's something about deuce to 7 single draw that I think a lot of people would really enjoy if they would sort of step out of their comfort zone a little bit and take a shot at it.
Right. Yeah, I agree. It's a super fun game. It forces you to think about poker in a little different way, a little more of that kind of mind game component where it's less, I mean, if you're trying to just consult the charts and the sims, this is not the game. It's more, it feels more old school. It feels more like mind versus mind.
Absolutely right. Ton of bluffing in there. So betting a call here on the flop by RV Phil. Checks the turn after he picks up the trip. Lex O takes the lead with the straight draw. Gets called by Phil, and now we go lead here by RV Phil on the river for 1,100. Like 1.3x over bet. And of course, Lex here rivering the pair of sixes is like, I mean, I guess if you have clubs, you just win. Like busted clubs, okay, you can have the pot because everything else is just way better than my pair of sixes. It's
pretty live boards this first half hour of the stream. multiple full houses, multiple trips with
Who added 3?
weird suited gapper holdings.
Who added 3?
I foresee some large pots inbound. Played a huge one with the ace queen,
It's coming though,
Miguel.
don't worry.
Play some 10K plus pots.
Yeah, I got a lot of money if I can get that hand in.
Certainly some of these players
This is yours, Max.
Negotiate them off like you were like,
are, you know, even used to playing even deeper than this and at a little bit higher stakes too. So, you know, sometimes you can have situations where it'll be like, oh, well, I mean, this is only a 1K call here, you know, and you're used to a 1K call being a much bigger, or like, you know, it's a smaller relative sort of event for you, is what I'm trying to say. So, I don't know, we'll see. Some of these guys may just pile all the chips and just have a good time, too.
Love it. RB Phil with 1 card. Raise and take it. I wonder where Lex O has been. I don't know if he's been on the. I mean, I guess I've
Yes,
been
sir.
out of the loop a bit, but it doesn't seem like he's on the content game as much or anymore at all.
$1,000
Curious
pickleball match. Best of 3.
what his story is these days.
No, it's best.
Yeah, it's always tough for me to try to keep up with everybody because there's so many content creators and bloggers and stuff these days. And not only are there all the sort of the old guard, and then you know, the players that sort of became more popular through COVID, but then every day there's somebody new sort of popping up as well. So there's a lot of people to keep up with. I definitely can't devote enough time to following them all, but yeah, I presume that Lex O is out there doing the grind, still putting out quality content. As we see him here joining us this evening.
So we just went to play pickleball yesterday, just for fun.
You beat up on a bunch of 8-year-olds?
No, so he actually.
And so I guess we're playing this match the stack because I see that everyone has basically topped up to match Miguel here. At least not everybody, but solid half the table is added on to match.
It's funny, after Miguel's big hand with ace queen, you hear everyone saying, I'm gonna add on 5K. I'm gonna add on 5K.
Pickleball coach and spending 12 hours a day with
Yeah, 5, 10, 25 in name only.
It's actually insane.
That's right.
Yeah, but
I love how we were talking about 200 big blinds not being like particularly deep, and yeah, now we're all 400 big blinds deep. It's like, okay, we got there. This is what we expected.
Interesting board for 4s and 6s. Shorshi
Going crazy in my neighborhood.
checked 2 on a deuce of hearts turn. He's going to check back as well with 1100 in the middle.
Yeah, I always tell people it's like badminton.
The boogie board, 10 of diamonds on river.
Is it exhausting or no? Like, is it tiring?
Bro, no. 1v1 is tiring.
fun.
1v1 is good. 1v1, you
Yeah,
will.
check,
Take it
check,
down.
check, river. Makes a lot of sense given the holdings here.
It's much harder than golf. Much more difficult than golf.
Then golf?
There's a world within which
Well, I'm saying like
I think
physically,
Shorshi
like,
could have
Oh, yes.
put another small bet in on the turn just to try to earn himself that sort of free showdown
Golf is a sport.
on the river, but check, check,
I'm
and
saying
check,
like
check again
golf
makes
is
a
in
lot of sense.
like physically tired, you know? Like out of breath.
Who gets out of bed?
I was listening to their
I was
comparing of pickleball to golf.
I mean, when you play in
Bro,
Florida,
I'm sure there's some guy out there losing like
Feel
a lot of calories
completely
playing golf.
1 for 1.
He's out there. I don't know where he is. By Charles Barkley. Have you seen his?
Have you ever played pickleball?
Yeah, no, I've had a couple
I'm not talking
of
about good
my
play.
buddies here tell me that, you know, we've got to get out, we got to play, and they, you know, have like a pickup game that goes on like a couple times a week or whatever, and I mean, it sounds like a lot of fun. I have heard a lot about it. I have not actually participated yet, but I would love to.
Yeah, it's a good time. Kind of like I don't know. It's like physically challenging enough to feel like you're doing something with your life, but it's not as intense as tennis, where it feels like you're going to tear an ACL or something. So it's a fun middle ground between ping pong and tennis, is what I think most people say about it. But every time I've played, I've really enjoyed it, and I'm not much of an athlete as it is.
Yeah, that's, I mean, that basically sounds like what other people have described it as, you know, a cross between ping pong and tennis. I really do enjoy tennis. I have played just very recreationally over the years.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm competent enough to like get it over the net most of the time and in the lines and all of that, but not with tremendous force, and I'm, you know, really making you race back and forth. But I think to the point where I can like have fun with it, and that to me is like very enjoyable. I guess the pickleball situation, you're going to be focused a little bit more, quite a bit more, I should say, on like your your racket technique, right? Like getting backspin and under, like how you're influencing the trajectory of the ball, right? Because it's more like just floating through the air, so you have to manipulate it a little bit more.
Yeah, I imagine good pickleball players are not very fun to play against because of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
The spin manipulations.
Follow-up is going to be it's actually not that difficult like that.
3 pair. No, excuse me. I thought Miguel had 8-5. He's got 3-5.
Is it only a stacking if they are at 0 chips? Or if
Paolo can't get it through.
Call.
I kind of want to make the difference.
Yeah,
Your
pretty
opponent
ambitious
just
here
always
from
has it.
Paolo, but like this is one of his worst hands that he's going to show up here with, and he bet the turn, so why not go for it? Yeah, but Miguel not having it.
Same word?
He's like, no, when I have 5-3, I win. This already happened once, so now we got 2 data points.
And I'm up 5K. And so
Yeah.
scoreboard.
Stack almost implies that they're rebuy.
Yeah, stacking is like, all right, let's go again. But felting is like, you get the
Felting is
fuck
like, yeah,
out.
hit the showers.
Felting's worse.
The
Kicker problems is pickleball's great until you get beat by a couple of old ladies.
stack score.
Yeah, those country club gals
0-4.
putting a lot of hours on the pickleball court.
Stacking
Fell asleep
How often
on
did you
the
stack in?
country club ladies.
Stack me, that set over sat one time.
That's pretty cool. You know, whenever you have a sport that
Yeah, I found my way
is
to
physical but can be played by people across like multiple
Oh, yeah.
generations and be competitive, like that's pretty
Yeah.
cool. That's a good.
Yeah,
That's a good.
super cool.
Actually, that's the thing is maybe we have to revise the definition. It's harder to remember like.
All right, 4
Checks
players
through is Lex O. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Oh, all good. I was just gonna say we've got 4 players here, and yeah, as you say, Lex O flopping the nut flush draw. Pairs is 4 here on the turn. We don't quite know if RV Phil has a better hand or not, but
Yeah, just like,
we'll roll the punches here.
We're gonna have to start cussing RV Phil to scan those cards.
He like partial. He's a partial owner of the lodge.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that we had already gotten a deck change here on like hand number 2 because we had a hand where he didn't have his cards scanned in.
He carries a lot of weight.
Not clear if it's user error or something to do with the deck or the scanner right now. But
Once I figured out the flips, yeah.
Unless RV Phil has queen 4.
oh shit, what's happening?
Oh no, disregard.
Oh, really? Oh, that's really cool. I actually
yeah,
never
RV Phil
met
cannot win this hand.
Bobby.
Lex O here with the trips on board, ace kicking.
Oh, really?
Should be going for a
Check's good.
healthy value bet here.
I would be really
In my mind, I was thinking, unless RV Phil has queen 4, this hand is a nothing burger.
in poker. Okay.
That's what I was trying to say in my brain, and nothing came out of my mouth. So,
Gotcha.
so Lex O is gonna bet for value,
They have that
1500
one
instant
other
fold.
very competitive thing that they do as well. You know.
Yeah, I like the idea there from Lex O. He does have the ace of clubs, so he's going to have all of the sort of busted flush draws that could be trying to get his opponent to fold a big chunk of their range. So going for the big bet makes a ton of sense. Has the nice little 4-ball there to go with it to get some real strong value. But his opponent didn't have nothing, so no more chips in the middle.
Safina's always at these games drinking something that looks delicious. He's always got a different big old drink or smoothie.
Mr. Worldwide.
These look good.
Gold chain. Your little neck.
We got to work on the green room perks here for the talent, the vocal talent.
Yeah.
I'd love to have a smoothie waiting for me here.
Yeah, you need to update the old contract there. Have some perks baked in, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a contract rider that's 12 lukewarm M&Ms and
Then I'm gonna get one price.
sugar-free,
half a slug.
caffeine-free Diet Cokes.
Nice.
All the needles ever were not as strong as this one. This was that one
Yeah,
really,
that's what I'm gonna. That's
that one really cut deep.
I'm just
Safine, real hand, ace king of diamonds.
Every
Oh
time I
yeah,
stack.
I gotta
Might
get
be the
the
one
system
card
right.
show with RV Phil tonight.
Yeah, it's a little bit unusual because the fact that his scanner is getting at least one of the cards seems to indicate that the scanner is functioning. So I am going to go out on a limb here and say that this is user error. So perhaps we can get you know, a little reminder for our friend in the 3-seat to keep both cards on the scanner for the appropriate amount of time. We will see sometimes from time to time people will put like one card over the scanner, pull it off, put the other one, thinking that that works, and like you need to have both cards over the scanner at the same time. So maybe that's a little bit of what we're dealing with. I'm not sure.
They didn't really turn on the AC, did they?
He's going to go for the big check raise here though on the turn, and that is going to win him the pot as the ace king of diamonds can no longer continue.
Spend the 7 deuce game?
Did the
You were.
Did the QQ go in the mud there or some bullshit? You sound so upset.
I am upset.
So we're like T-2 weeks or thereabouts, 2.5 weeks until the TCH cruise heading out of Galveston, Texas. I am so looking forward to that. Getting some
That
skin
is
on
crazy how it's already here. Jeez.
yeah, getting some skin on my sun. Some sun on my skin is what I was trying to say there. Very much looking forward to that and enjoying a nice sea breeze.
You want to switch?
Dude, that is going to be such a good time.
Actually, I've noticed Derek does that, where like if there's like a little flub on the deal, he'll
No idea if there's any vacancy left, but if you are interested in checking out the TCH cruise,
This is a missed deal.
info at TCH or TexasCardHouse.com. There might still be some openings to join the Texas Cardhouse
like
crew.
literally like more than once I've
On the
seen
high
something like that
seas.
happen, and then he'll just like fold dark
Land
money.
24-hour poker.
Anytime you see something weird, no, I'm out.
Not my wife's idea of a good time, but my idea of a good time.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, man. I think we've talked about this before. This is going to be my first cruise, but yeah, I am super looking forward to it. And the poker is going to be great. The people are going to be great. We're going to get to meet all of the other wild and crazy folks that are going to be on this cruise as well that aren't just there for the poker part. Going to shore and checking out the beaches and the local haunts and all that stuff is going to be very cool. So yeah, just going to be a super great week-long vacation.
Good job.
And also some jolly good fun hanging out around the poker table with all my favorite people anyway.
Yep.
The best of all worlds.
Nice Fiend, Rivers 3's full. Sneaky little full house over to Mr. M. Haven't heard much from him in the first hour, which isn't surprising. I mean, some people run hot, other people have to run dry.
Peoples are hards. Words.
Peoples are hard with words.
Family sounded like a reunion out back in Chicago. Like come August when they get Bruce Springsteen playing out there. I was talking to my dad today about it. He's like,
Mr. M in the tank.
Bruce Springsteen concert, like
Not want to get bluffed. I mean, it's just a weird board. 9-9-3 queen, river 3.
I'm like, man, it's Bruce Springsteen. Like, I should go.
250 to win 8.
I hear that he's still like his shows even now. Are still
Yeah, I mean the weird part here for the most part is that the price almost seems too good to be true.
Michael Jackson.
Right? Like if he bet a big bluffy size, you'd be like, oh, well, I just have like a nice bluff catcher here. I can just look him up. But when he bets this this very middling size, it looks a lot like a queen. And so then you're like, oh, well, just trying to get value out of me from exactly my hand.
Springsteen's part as well, and that video is sick, man. When he just sings that part over and over and just tries to hit it perfect, it's incredible.
So yeah, nice fold there, able to see through that. That one can be kind of weird where you have the bottom full house on the double paired board and you feel like you don't maybe have a hand strong enough to go for the big polarizing size, so you go for the smaller size.
He's not like fucking.
Here's what I'm saying. You're telling me that if Prince was still alive,
I mean, I guess specifically trying to get called by
Nothing the Nate ball
the
could get him
ace,
through that
but
show.
I don't know.
But you said in his
Sometimes it's like,
No,
yeah,
I'm
just go
saying-
for the big size. Go for it all. It does actually have an ace too, which is the other side of it, which is kind of tricky. It's like you take away one full
I want to go
ace
see
from your opponent's range, so maybe just target all of his queen X that doesn't even need an ace in it to call you. Good old
Miguel,
poker
like I forecasted, is good for action, playing the 8-6 off, facing an open from
Oh, Abba.
Safine, I believe, with King Jack, top pair.
No, what happened?
2000, they were offered $1 billion.
Deuce of clubs on turn. Fiend's still best.
50 shows over a year, they were each getting $1 million. You can look Google.
Are you serious?
$1 million per show, 4 people.
4 people for 250 shows.
So 250 million each a year?
For 1 year.
1 year.
1 million a show they were in.
What's the reason they shouldn't do that?
Miguel here has real heart. You can tell the fact that he really wants to stick around and see
Like it was
this
too much.
Imagine the royalties they get every fucking year.
third
I saw them as a
board.
kid. I was like, they're paying my parents.
Does not decide to actually stick around, but
Hardcore.
definitely
Hardcore.
going to see plenty of hands played by that man.
That is really
Dare say his BPIP will be the highest if
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
our current set of data is worth anything.
Listen, once the sample grows, I don't have to tell you this. As the sample grows, the stats will be more meaningful.
I mean, I would
Not if you already
is
have
correct.
have it for a lot less.
800 of them.
But I do love it, man. I'll tell you what. When you either get like moved to a new table in a tournament, or you sit down at a fresh cash game,
All the
and you find out within the first few hands like who some people are, that you're like, oh, it didn't take me very long at all to figure out who these people are. Like I actually just really love that. There's something special about that
I don't know
because,
about that.
you know, in real tough games or whatever, you'll sit down. It'll take you like an orbit and a half before you figure out what's going on with some of these players, and sometimes even longer, right? But oh man, love to see it when you're like, oh, this guy's played every hand. This is great. I know this guy.
There's a weird
That's
little,
because that's Paolo's.
factoid about one really famous rock
Ace
band. I
King
don't know which
6,
one,
Mr. Delivery,
1992
top
or like
pair.
Kiss or something.
Miguel.
Like in
Great
that-
draw on the
that level.
dream. This is all he
They made
needs.
more money
250 from Mr.
Guitar
Delivery.
Hero than from their whole career.
Really?
And it's like some Guitar
Back
Hero
on the
Jack
turn
would
would
be
be
very
real nasty.
spicy.
They made
Five of
more money
spades.
from the royalties from Guitar Hero than from their whole music career. And it's like fucking like some huge band. I don't remember which one, but like, you know, Metallica or something.
It could be you too.
Yeah, that's insane.
Raina here in the chat says that we will love the cruise. May we have calm seas and be sure not to go anywhere alone while on land because Mexico's not safe. Yeah, no, there's definitely a lot of stuff in the news that sounds pretty scary. I think the regions that we're going to be at are going to be relatively well
It's like it's something way bigger,
controlled and
something-
everything, you know, like in the port city spot. But I mean, obviously that is something to pay attention to if you do go off the beaten path. And I mean, and obviously not even that far off the beaten path, if at all. You can run into some scary stuff. I'm not too particularly worried about it, but I do think that you know, it always pays, no matter where you are, no matter where you're traveling to always be very aware, to keep an eye on your surroundings and on your, you know, your friends, your loved ones, and everything. Make sure everybody is taken care of. So, yeah, absolutely. I will be making sure to stay alert and on guard, and I'm sure everyone else
And on a
is as well.
swivel.
No, he's learned nothing.
It's
in the
it's
past
a real
few
world
weeks.
out there, you know. Not
Yeah.
everything is rainbows and unicorns.
Good for nothing except
100%.
get wiped.
But also, like,
You rename that motherfucker.
spot the places the cruise is stopping, super populated. Pretty, I don't know.
2 pots with
I think if you,
Suited?
to your point, aren't
All right.
going down any crazy dark alleys by yourself asking for trouble, you'll probably be fine.
I like the one.
Yeah,
Have your
and there's
brews
also
on the beach restaurants right off the freaking port.
Yep.
Plenty of good times to be had.
Yeah, and I'm like, it is kind of sad in a way because like I am pretty adventurous when it comes to travel. I like
Yeah.
to go and find a little back alley, kind of like local haunt,
This was in the middle.
just to experience the culture a little bit more. You know, you get to see the more like day-to-day folk instead of just people that are there catering for tourists. And,
Yeah.
and that is pretty cool. It can be a very fun way to immerse yourself and get a little bit of exposure to the just like regular honk Texas, you know, experience. So, you know, I think I will be missing maybe out on a little bit of the adventure that I would normally want to go on because I'll be a little bit more cautious. But at the same time, I think we're still going to have a great time. I don't think there's any reason to believe that we won't have a good time. So
I'm confident Miguel's value betting this with a 10. And he's going to take it down.
King 4 flop.
Oh,
Yeah, it's an interesting spot to go for the value bet.
Is it like a
Yeah,
cap?
yeah.
Does just take down the
I don't
pot.
know.
It's like a variation of the 70s game.
That was
You
it.
pick like a bunch
Just
of
down the
random
street, I had
balls.
lunch in
Ninth grade,
Dallas
pink
at
four.
Saltgrass.
Write them all down on slips of
And
paper. And each
before I
person
left,
gets
it's like,
like
What's
We appreciate a guy that's willing to VPIP for the full 4 hours to put on a show and not just grind.
yeah, so you can only
I
score
got a
that
couple
number. So
balls
if
up
you
there,
win
Paolo,
it,
if you want
then
to
you
play.
like
You're about to
show
ask
like
something, sorry, I interrupted.
Oh yeah, no problem. I was just gonna ask you, you know, what's probably the coolest adventure travel story that you've got? Maybe not long-winded travel story, but just where did you go?
Just random bullshit.
Yeah.
We have to try this sometime.
oh yeah. We need to.
When I was in the
we need to do, like,
Marines
a
and
drunk
we were stationed in
session
Romania,
anyway.
there were several like
I bring some whiskey.
pretty interesting experiences. Like one, we were at this.
Pass on the whiskey, another whiskey, yeah.
I was leading this
I mean, I enjoy it, but not
basically
this
this training in Kosovo, and we were staying at this hotel that was like the only one that was embassy approved. And me and these 2 junior Marines got stuck in the elevator, and clearly like don't know the language, have no clue about like the infrastructure around the elevator repair, and so we were in there for I don't know like maybe 10 minutes or so. I'm pretty claustrophobic as it is, but like putting a good face on to try to not like be a chump in front of these junior Marines.
Yeah.
But inside literally like imploding.
Oh wow.
Just like the worst nightmare, like being stuck in an elevator in a foreign country. But eventually we were able to like pry the door open and crawl out because we were like halfway between, because the elevator like shut down.
Yeah.
And so that, I mean, that's kind of traumatic, but also like kind of an interesting story. Kind of felt like we were,
Pieces of paper also work.
I don't know, like staying in at a hotel in the middle of this technically like still war zone in Kosovo.
On the inside, it's written on the
Was
inside.
pretty interesting.
Oh yeah, you can do a variation.
And we like got to go out on the town with some locals that were basically like
Oh, like you have
babysitting
King
us
4
while we were
written on
there.
So I need to
And
fuck you up with
it-
King 4?
Yeah.
it's just interesting. I mean, it's just crazy how people are.
Qualifies as like someone being involved in the game.
I don't know. It's just awesome to see people living real lives in completely different countries that speak completely different languages, and so that was one. There was also some just like I'm trying to think of what I can and can't say.
Well,
we
while
had
you
some-
think of that real quick,
Go
let
ahead.
me just interject. I mean, that was a pretty wild hand there. So on the turn, Safine going for it with the big over bet with just the ace there, blocking the ace 10 for
It's still very warm.
Broadway. But as soon as Lex O makes the call with the flop 2 pair, yeah, Safine just knew that the jig was up. Quickly checked behind there on the end. But yeah, that one was getting a little bit crazy there for a second, but didn't
What was
go
the
off
size of the
rails.
pot? I completely missed it.
Yeah, it was heads up between Safine and Lex O. Lex O flopping the bottom 2 pair, and Safine, went for the small continue on the flop, went for the big overbet on the turn just to see if he could get his opponent to lay down all his 1 pair holdings. Of course, that wasn't the case.
They don't call me
So
Mr.
that was
Delivery.
the end of that.
Safine's gonna raise again in the hijack to 150 with ace jack. Bunch of callers behind.
Yeah, right?
CCH has up.
Here we go. Things are heating up a bit. 5-way action.
That's C2 for you.
75?
Top
Little
pair
something
for
there
RB
for a
Phil.
couple of these players for sure. Safine and Miguel whiffing with the big Broadway cards.
Mr. M, finally a playable hand. Bottom pair in the nut clubs.
Hopefully more than that.
Good card here for RV Phil. He is going to be out of position, so suspect he's just going to bet again. 900 in the middle.
You realize that.
Somewhere around half pot makes a lot of sense. He's going to go small here.
Oh, sorry. 350.
375, it looks like. 350. 1/3.
Yeah, so not quite half pot, a little over third. Yeah, Mr. M here. Just going to call, gets to play in position, sees this 4 of clubs peel off, and now he's got the stones. RV not improving on the river here. Just going to check this over. Does have that 10 of clubs, so could be perhaps induced to make a big hero call on the end, depending on the size here. But the problem for him is that the way that this board has come out, the way that it is coordinated, and the fact that his opponent has just called in position across 2 streets, his hand doesn't really do that much as far as, like, the 10 of clubs is good, right? It blocks the straights, it blocks the flushes, but like, your opponent is just going to have so much value here. And yeah, he snap folds with this bet.
Snap folds top pair. That's impressive.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good read of the situation there for RB. It's like, there's just not enough hands that are going to call you and then feel inclined to turn their hand into a flop that you're ahead of.
No, I had 9-10.
Okay. I couldn't.
And everyone like draws like a slip with like the random.
Miguel needs some over here too.
Said I should have like so many hours after
Look, we like to have a good time here on TCH Live. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are going to talk about poker for the vast majority of the time. We're also going to have a little bit of back and forth, a little banter, you know, have a good time. We hope that you guys all enjoy that as well. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. TCH Live Wednesday special edition of 5-10 and a quarter with Lex O joining us here on the felt. I'm Aaron McAvoy hanging out here. Mr. Ben Kirby. And we are just about an hour into the broadcast. We got 3 more hours of high quality free poker content for you guys.
Yeah, if I do something really stupid, it just misread my hand.
Seen about a 6K pot, scaring a 10K pot. Let's keep the pot size up and to the right. Hockey stick, how about it?
Maybe.
Right. They don't want to like drill you.
Name it and claim it.
Right.
For a huge pot inbound for the next hour.
Spicy flop right here. Big draws left and right. RV Phil here has the bottom pair and the best hand at the moment.
They don't want to say it. Neither one knows what to say.
All 3 players going to see this turn. 16 and a quarter in the middle.
Yeah.
And
Somehow a safe turn card here for RV Phil and the bottom pair of deuces, but not too sure how much longer he can hold on.
And oftentimes, like they would just like vamp with each other, and it seemed like they were trying to avoid
Gets the deuce to
talking about
fold.
the hand 'cause they really
Back over to Shorshi, open-ended straight draw.
Tiny little bet here from Miguel, 250 on the turn, and improves to top pair on the end, which is going to be the best hand. And with over 2K in the middle, it's another tiny bet here.
Maybe he's got like a live read on the guy.
450.
Oh, really?
Or she might be the type to want to
to
raise a weak bet on river. I don't know if it's a weak bet or not, but he might interpret this as weak. So I think a raise may be inbound.
Yeah, it's really nice. He doesn't block the clubs at all. It's an overcard to the board. The small sizing screams weakness. Yeah, this is a great spot to go for the big raise.
2,700 is the raise, 2,200 plus, and Miguel does not like to fold.
Gets
9 high like a boss, not like a boss this time as Miguel rivers top pair and wins a 7. What did I just say? I called it. Largest pot of the night, 7,500, headed to the man of the hour, Miguel. King 6. Welcome to Dallas, folks.
Yeah, you can tell Miguel has a certain bit of swagger about him where, like, he's off to a hot start. He's not going to be pushed around. And I suspect that plenty of the players here at the table are going to pick up on that and start bluffing him a little less and value betting a little bit harder against him. You know, which is definitely going to be the appropriate response. So, you know, we'll see how that plays out here as we're on just hand number 23. But given the fact that he has played so many hands and has shown this propensity to play hands of this nature as strongly as he has, I suspect we're going to definitely see some adjustments.
Chop, 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 chop. Check.
But all the credit to Miguel. He has been crushing this table.
Been crushing it, and he's been making the correct decisions at decision time on the river. I mean, that was a pretty huge bet from Shorshi, and I mean, he's got top pair, no kicker, but not even a thought. Just rips it in there, and
And it was like,
or not rips it in there, but he throws the call in there pretty quickly and is rewarded.
37 bucks in a pocket. You're like just adding 37 to get back on
Phil, 7s and 6s.
That happened at the Bellagio.
After
When I was playing there.
Bridge Mike opened the action, just limping under the gun one, 10-9 suited.
7.
Not the best card in the world here for RV Phil, as he now loses 2 pocket 8s and above, but we can see that he does indeed still have the best hand far and away.
2 pair.
And Bridge Mike here not going to go for it.
Such a wide
Decides
range.
that
like,
after
you'd
he's
never
checked the
thought.
turn, there's no sense
Luckily there was
betting
no like
again
pocket kings,
on the river. And
deuce
a
threes.
nice small pot there.
So you can see Miguel crushing the game for 8,300 in profit. Paolo and Shorshi at the bottom losing 3,600 and 4,000. But lots of poker to be played, and these two guys don't have one buy-in left in their pockets. I think they're here for the long haul, so they're not super
Mr.
worried
M,
about.
the only player who is still on the original 5K buy-in plus, you know, a little bit. Everyone else is topped up to nearly 10K.
When people come into Dallas and play for the first time, sometimes it can be a little bit of a culture or sticker shock where it's like, wait, why does everyone have 1,000 big blinds
Yeah.
in front of them an hour in?
Seriously. All right, Bridge Mike here going to go for the teeny tiny squeeze. Doesn't even quite qualify, but it is a raise out of the straddle. Going to get called by 2 opponents. Miguel and RV Phil are in there. And it is going to be second pair here for RV Phil taking the lead. But we'll check through to a 6 of spades here on the turn. Brings in the backdoor spades, or sorry, front door spade draw as well. So RV here, hammer lock on this, can only lose to a 9 of
96%
clubs
to
on
win.
the end. But Miguel is the player who's going to take a stab here, 375.
RV Phil happy to just call with the world. The jack.
You gotta be the
I
action.
thought yesterday was tamer than what happened.
Yeah, Miguel shuts it down. RV Phil happy to just turn over his cards and take his showdown. He's going to win a nice $1,265 pot here with King Queen O.
I think Miguel showed the King 5.
Yeah.
It's a bummer he just gets snapped off. I was like, he goes for it.
Tyler Mawani here in the chat giving a breakdown of what has been plaguing us as far as the unread or misread cards. And yeah, so we are going to hopefully get a little bit of instruction out to the players that have not been placing their cards over the scanner together. Yeah, there we go. We can. I just saw it there over in the 8 seat here. Mr. M placing one card over the scanner, then placing the next card over the scanner separately. That's the kind of operation that does lead to misread or unread scan cards. And it's always tricky, you know. I mean, perhaps it's some of these players' first time playing on the stream. We do have a little bit of a different setup with the RF Poker table than some of the other establishments. So, you know, every place is going to have a different sort of process for how to do everything. Paolo here going to flop best with second pair top kicker. He'll bet $50 and take it down.
Bet 50, win 215. Paolo got a long way to go to get back into the green, but got plenty of playing chips. The largest stack at the table, actually, 14K.
Funky, you said?
I mean, there were, but like smaller games or whatever.
So going back to our little conversation earlier about travel, I didn't get stuck in an elevator or anything quite as exciting as that, but did have a couple of fun little travel stories. One, probably the like funnest foreign travel experience that I had was went to Japan.
Yeah.
In grad school, we had a conference there. Some of our collaborators were there at the University of Kyoto and got to go and check out the very old and very historical city of Kyoto.
Sweet.
It's pretty cool. It used to be the capital of Japan a long, long time ago. Some really old temples and stuff that have been there for hundreds and hundreds of years. So just very cool stuff that we got to go and check out around the city. Food was amazing as well. And then the craziest part, as Shorshi here going to flop 2-pair. Mr. Delivery on 3rd pair effective, so pretty good board, all things considered for him as well. Definitely do expect him to continue, but Shorshi here certainly going to be content to bet for value across at least one street.
Shorshi improves aces and jacks.
Yeah, actually not a very good card for Shorshi, all things considered.
Right.
Does improve his hand, but now he loses to King Queen. Anything like an Ace Queen if they happen to be in the mix here. Mr. Delivery, of course, just calling pre-flop, so perhaps not going to give him a ton of credit for that. But we also see that he just called his pocket 8, so you know that's it's a possibility. But Mr. Delivery hoping to just get to showdown and Shorshi here now. I think can target any of the 10x of the world that might exist in Mr. Delivery's range. Right, he chops. Like a 10 chops with every other 10 that isn't ace 10. So a little value bet here from Shorshi.
Was unusually small for them.
Yeah.
Right after COVID, when they had the first series out there, he won like.
But Mr. Delivery not having it. Let it go.
He won like
But yeah, so after Kyoto, we went to Osaka, and at this point, you know, first I went over there with like a couple of professors and a couple of fellow grad students from around the country, and one guy was from Maryland, and we ended up doing the rest of the trip, just the two of us, and we went to Osaka, and Osaka is a very cool city. It has everything from like old, sort of, you know, hundreds of years old, like kind of feel to it, all the way up to a very modern, like upbeat, very energetic kind of young crowd thing going on. Very tech savvy, everything like that. And so the city was just fantastic, but very dense, and it was easy to kind of get turned around there. Like,
Right.
We went out to a nightclub, our first night there. Had a great time, stayed out until like 3 in the morning or whatever. And I went and looked for my buddy at the club. Like, we'd gotten separated. I was playing pool with like some guy that I just met and whatever. I couldn't find him. Dude got lost. And like literally like left the nightclub, got lost, couldn't find his way back to the hotel. It was like a whole thing. I was out there looking for him on the streets of Osaka till 6 a.m. Like, we had train tickets to go to Tokyo the next morning. I mean, it was just a complete nightmare. But a little old Japanese man, like found my friend wandering the streets, gave him a snack, and helped him find the hotel. And we made it to the train on time and everything. Like, yeah, it all worked out. It was perfect. But man, like, 2 hungover kid, like basically kids still, that you know, basically operating on no sleep and nothing but alcohol and some. What do we have? I'm trying to think of what the little squid dumplings are called. Okonomiyaki, maybe? Is that what that is?
I don't know. I love Japanese food. I mean, Japanese culture is so cool. I've just been to Tokyo. We went during my MBA program. And same type thing, or not same experience, but just like everyone loved it there. I mean, from the people were outstanding. The food was amazing. It felt like, I mean, you just transported into this. I mean, clearly you're in a different place, but it's just such a cool cultural experience. To walk around, everything's clean and people are polite, and it's so cool.
Very polite until you go into a ramen shop and you spend a little bit too long eating your food. They're like, get out.
Well, yeah, there's
Next
also like
customer,
cultural expectation.
Come on, finish your food. I thought that was pretty cool. All right, we've got 2 players here flopping second pair. Bridge Mike here with a gutty and backdoor royal flush opportunities. Of course, we see that Mr. Delivery has exactly the 2 cards that he would like to see come off. But Bridge Mike is the player going to bet here. the fiend makes the call, and now Mr. Delivery with the decision. Kind of an awkward spot. You do have second pair, which could be good some of the time. You get backdoor hearts, backdoor Broadway, but like your hand just really doesn't function very well, and you're very often just putting money in while you're behind. So calling feels bad. So Mr. Delivery is going to go for the raise instead.
Wow.
And this is going to work.
Show a 10.
4. Show
10.
4.
There's a 10.
What did he say?
10.
And that's
10.
just good instinct right there by Mr. Delivery, sort of recognizing that his hand might be best, but playing out of position as he is with the second pair, not going to result in a plus EV sort of scenario if he plays it as a call. So then it's just like folding and raising, and you know, just kind of flip a coin in your head sometimes and go for it if it comes up raised.
It's kind of a cool spot because, I think many of us out here would
I asked for a 10, I get like
not choose to raise there. It's either just like, all right, do I try to catch a heart on turn and just try to get to a showdown, or do I just fold now? I like the third option that he took by just choosing aggression, and worked out for him.
The good thing too is, I think a lot of people miss these spots is, you know, you don't always have ace 3 suited there where you flop top and bottom pair. You don't always have pocket 3s there where you flop bottom set, right? Like those are your value hands. What are your bluffs? And if you're not bluffing ever, because it's kind of tough to find bluffs there, then, well, guess what? You're unbalanced. And Mr. Delivery, of course, he's there. He's like, well, I have a jack. I have some backdoor opportunities. Like if I check raise and get called, and the turn is a queen, a king, a heart, a 9, right? Like there are ways for me to continue barreling and tell a credible story here. Why not go for it here? You know,
Yeah,
it's a bet and a call. There's not a ton of sort of strength being exhibited by his opponent. So just a good spot there, and I think a good lesson for a lot of players that are watching this and sort of thinking about how to incorporate things into their game. You know, think about what your bluffs are in some spots, and if you can't really come up with a good one, then you have to start being creative and turning pairs into bluffs and doing things that might feel a little bit awkward or off the beaten path, but are actually going to benefit you a lot in the long run.
Like so, with the ace king suited, taking a nice one. Big slick in its purest form.
Give me enough time.
Too young to know what Quaaludes were.
I've seen Ollie know what they are.
Pretty high aggression frequency here from top to bottom. Lex O rounding things out at the bottom at 28.5%. So when these players are in a hand, they are putting pedal to the metal.
His extracurriculars, you know,
We
questionable.
love to see that.
Yeah, great.
Much more fun to watch a stream where there's betting and raising going on than checking and calling.
Raise to 100.
They post you on stream, right?
You have no way out.
We went joining us here in the chat. What's going on? Says from Vietnam at 8 a.m.
Yeah, I was that
Normally in Colorado Springs. Well, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us bright and early there. Man, that is a place that I would love to go, is Vietnam. So Vietnamese food is probably my top tier choice for food.
Okay.
There's something about the crispy Vietnamese egg rolls that just speaks to my soul. I literally could just like, I have very specific requirements for good Vietnamese egg rolls. I've definitely been to plenty of places where they don't do them very well, but if they're done right and they have that perfect bubbly crisp outer layer, like, oh, there's just something about that that is amazing. So
That sounds
I would
amazing.
love to go to Vietnam and experience the food firsthand someday.
I'm not sure if I've ever had Vietnamese food or when I would have. Need to try
Have you had
it.
pho, like pho noodle soup?
Yeah, I've had pho.
Okay,
yeah, I
so
guess-
that's
okay.
Vietnamese.
Right, okay.
And then they do like
Sounding
banh the
ignorant
little
in front of 1,000
sandwiches with
people.
like, they'll either do like a pate like spread or just different deli meats and things like that. Usually with pickled like radishes and
Did you say banh
carrots
mi?
and stuff.
reality.
Uh-huh.
It's
Okay, that's Vietnamese?
Yeah.
To win it.
Oh, okay, yes.
What's that?
I love a
That's
banh
a
mi
great
sandwich.
show.
Now I sound super ignorant. Yes,
So upset
I've
when
definitely
they
had
canceled
that.
I know, same. I enjoyed that show a lot.
Don't put him out there like that. Not
There's so many different
Bet a
skills.
700 here from
Exactly,
Lex
and
O.
that's the beauty
RV
of it, right?
Phil just worked with the
It's
naked
more like, hey,
4
how
here.
quickly can you learn
Does
something?
block the nut straight.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
The 10-4. I guess,
Little
was he in the
mini challenges,
straddle?
minutes to complete each challenge. It's really cool. It's
Yes,
definitely
RV Phil playing from the straddle, that is right.
Okay.
How about you? Jeopardy?
But yeah, he is just going to let this go. Lexo is going to push his hand over, let him take a peek, and he'll see that he was, of course, up against a hand that was going nowhere.
The qualifying quizzes are actually like way tougher than the show.
Is there any, do you have a regular Austin Vietnamese joint?
I do. So, I mean, I've been to so many. You know, I pretty much need to try like every Vietnamese place, and there are. Austin is fantastic. It doesn't quite have the variety that Dallas or Houston have, just because it's a smaller metroplex. But there's a lot of really good Vietnamese food here. A lot of just good Southeast Asian food here in general. But my favorite place near me called Pho MPH, and they do the egg rolls right. They do really good noodle bowls. Like everything there is very good for the price.
Yeah.
Now, everything is relative, right? Is it like one of the best Vietnamese places I've ever been? No, but for what you pay for and in relation to the other places around it, it's very good. But yeah, when it comes to like top tier Vietnamese food, where you're gonna go in there and you're not gonna pay necessarily like steakhouse prices or something, but you're gonna pay for a really good meal. Now that's the kind of stuff that makes your eyes roll back in your head a little bit. All right, once again, a little bit of card read difficulties there for our friend RV Phil. He does have the toppest of pairs, the ace of diamonds there, unless that is a mistake. But Bridge Mike here still in the mix with the pair of tens. Gut shot.
Yeah. OTP did some
Miguel betting 200 here, though, so showing some real heart, but not going to get the job done as RV Phil is going to go for the raise here on the turn. And get fold.
I'm not sure. Have we seen 2 cards from? Yeah, I guess we. It's interesting how consistently it's only scanning 1 card. Because I saw him even try to.
Very suggestive prompt. That he's begging for someone to answer like penis. And then someone will say penis, and Steve Harvey will go, "Oh,
Can't say that.
how could you? I
now
can't
is,
believe
That's exactly
this
what
is a
it is.
family
I love an egg
show."
roll too, man.
That's exactly what it is.
Now is a celebrity.
Yeah.
You can't lose.
Right.
Questions are just so ridiculous.
I'm like, that was probably like a smart rebrand after like the first year they did it, but after that it just became so grating. I'm like, guys, this is getting
I
like,
think I'm not sure they gave Mr. Delivery a mic. That's being his voice is being picked up by the
I do remember that.
nearby mics. I think maybe by design.
Really? When was that?
That sounds right. Yeah,
I
just tone him down a little. You know, he'll get picked up on every other
called the runner up
microphone.
as the winner. Oh, because he's reading off a card. Oh, he read the wrong card? That's a pretty big...
Oh, yeah.
Big
Those are
whip
the
here
huge
for
numbers,
everybody.
bro.
Shorshi
They won for a while.
out in front with just the ace high, so it was pretty much. Oh no, sorry, the board missed red. We do have 6 of diamonds up there. Mr. Delivery with the best hand.
For $500,000, you could probably read the right
Unless I'm
winner.
just, out to lunch. Bet and a raise. Miguel here showing us what aggression is all about.
This is going to confuse Mr. Delivery.
Oh
my God.
Like a slow roll.
He was hysterical.
Like the ultimate slow roll.
Oh,
He's
psych.
Going to have to
make the
tell a
call.
multi-street story.
It's a small raise, and like, it doesn't make a ton of sense. We can see that there is not, in fact, a diamond draw out there. I mean, why not?
5-4 for the 6 high straight. Miguel starts with the dirty diaper and rivers the 6 high straight.
Well, it's a clean diaper. It is suited, so let's
Clean
be
diaper.
clear. but he's hoping that Mr. Delivery will step in
Oh my god.
the dirtiness. It's just not.
And goes for
Who can read?
What a find.
Like, not too directly related to poker, right? But you can just
Looks like Tyler is there. Tyler from the past out there telling the players how to correctly scan the cards.
Make sure that the cards, like both cards, are out in front of you on the scanner, like before you look.
Excellent. Love to see that. Hopefully we will
And put my cards where they belong.
have an improvement in the scanning.
Lecturing us, Cooper. Damn.
Shout out to Tyler for running the show there, doing the production out of TCH
Cooper and
Dallas.
Tyler run a pretty tight ship over here.
Mike, that show.
Hey, man, Tyler, gotta be on target.
It got really good reviews.
Yeah, that. It's interesting because they have.
And these guys totally respect authority. That's why they play professional poker.
Then she comes in and how she solves.
I'll tell you one other type of food, you know, because now I'm hungry.
Yeah, it's always
thinking about
happens.
this.
Very dark.
One other type of food that I really enjoy is Korean food.
Last of Us.
There's a good Korean barbecue place not too far from TCH Dallas as well, CJ's Bulgogi, which does some real fire bulgogi chicken and beef.
I've had it.
Yes.
Outstanding.
Every time I go there for a tournament or to play cash or whatever, I'm definitely hitting up CJ. So
It's like
I was thinking.
I've only had it once at the recommendation of Derek, and it just had such a unique and I don't know. My words are hard tonight, but
yeah,
I really enjoyed it. Is what I'm saying in a less eloquent way.
tons of flavor, and you get a really cool variety of different sides. They do like a potato salad. You get like a mini salad. It just like the whole ensemble is really cool. The flavors all blend together really well, and the price is right. Let me tell you what. So if you guys are looking at getting some delicious Korean food, not too far there from TCH Dallas, go check out CJ's.
Unpaid sponsor.
Not that one on the other end.
They didn't pay
Dude,
us to say.
they should just get just one free meal, and I would be happy to plug them forever. That place is awesome.
Someone might have heard. Sound.
All right, 4 players to this 5-high flop. Safine here, going to flop second pair in the best hand.
Is everybody lagging, or is it just me?
It's me too.
Yeah, I realized a little late that it was still that I was wearing
Tens and
a wire.
fours for Safine.
I mean, how do I
Betting
find
a
two pair with 410
bunch of
offsuit?
folds.
Like that.
Was that your hand? Do we owe you?
I wonder if we paid our internet bill. We're in the midst of the internet being shut off.
Yeah, somebody watched a little too much Netflix on the TCH account. Now we're getting throttled.
You know what? In honor of Clint, I'm gonna put the bonus round.
There you go. Hold on.
Oh, Hundo Straddle is on. Turn it up some.
Oh, and the 200 as well. So things getting spicy here on hand number 35.
That's my man. That's for my man Clint.
Miguel first act, Jack 9 off. He's going to fold. My goodness. RB Phil here did take the instructions to heart. He scanned both cards, but he is just going to fold them.
Seems like I might be having connection issues on my end. So if I'm awkwardly being quiet more than usual, that's what's happening.
What did you do?
On my screen, we are functioning. Mr. M raising from the $25 straddle position with the 10-9 suited. Mr. Delivery here facing this large race of 700, 7-6 suited. It's a pretty hand. It's one that you'd love to play, but for this price and a player behind, honestly, just a little bit awkward. And he is going to make the call, though. The $200 straddle in to the muck, and it heads up between Mr. M and Mr. Delivery. Battle of the Misters. Comes ace, queen, 8, 1 diamond, no clubs. Mr. M could just c-bet this for about 350 minimum, and Mr. Delivery will run for the hills. And he does have a pretty good hand candidate to go for it and the betting lead. Yeah, 400 is the bet. I like the size, and he'll take it down.
Nice.
First one of the night for Mr. M? No, he hit that flush.
That's
The ace deuce of clubs earlier.
That's right. As we look at the earnings there, Miguel's still well up atop
He'll show me with
the
some
earnings
people.
ladder at nearly 8K in the
yeah,
positive.
you showed me
Lexo
a
up
single raise
3K, Mr. M
Show me a
1.5.
bet a quarter and I
Mr.
folded,
Delivery
and
can
now I'm just
afford a
pocket
run to
I still want to
CJ's
know what
Bulgogi. He's up
Safine
80 bucks.
I want to know what Safine had on this.
80 bucks goes a long way at CJ's Bulgogi.
It absolutely does, man. I think you could get like
It's the little
4
ones
full
that bug
meals
me.
there for that price.
Oh, really? I'm complete opposite.
Miguel's going to limp Jack 10 suited. Another gun
Bingo,
two.
bango. Jedi Master Ted rolling a hundy here in the chat, making 50,000 TCH Live loyalty points.
Bango.
Your call.
2 ladies for Lexo having raised to 200.
Yeah, we've seen a ton of action in our first 36 hands here so far, but not a lot of big pairs.
How about all the pairs?
Wow.
My man said, give me all 4 ladies. Flopping quads. And Lexo, oh my God, Miguel turns the open-ended straight flush draw.
This
Please.
is setting the stage for the worst bad beat I will have ever seen if it happens.
On stream,
9
yes.
or an ace of hearts
Really?
would legitimately be the worst bad beat I've ever
Does he really?
seen or even heard of, I think. But we are going to see a river here. Bet, raise, call. Oh my God, it's a red ace, but it's the ace of diamonds.
Rivers Broadway. After
There's like
going
a,
bet raise on turn,
fire-
Miguel
fire
quickly
that makes
calls.
like
Lexo must think, oh, does this dude have a boat, or did he just river a straight? Why did he call so quickly? So I think Lexo's going to pump this up. Okay, well, I'm completely wrong. He goes 1/4 pot.
Wow.
Oh, Ace of Hearts one time on the river.
Wow.
Ace of Hearts one time on the river.
Bets 500, doesn't want to bet too big, assumes his opponent has a king, and is going to call for the chop, but doesn't want to go so big that it frightens him away. Miguel, of course, going nowhere, but can't quite raise, even given the strength of his hand. And wow, Lexo does get paid, but not quite the maximum. Does
Pretty
still
cool to
move
flop
up.
quads.
4.5K in the positive. Miguel taking a pretty chunky hit there. And still up 6.5K.
Money, I played it bad.
That's
Yeah,
when you're
Lexo
up
knows that he left some money on the table, it feels like.
Oh, absolutely.
Here we go.
Where's that
Absolutely.
200?
There we go.
The man's flopping quads. Of course, he's
There it
putting
is.
it out there.
There it is.
Quads, and his opponent turns the open-ended straight flush draw
That's how you get him. You get him
for
to flop
maximum
quads and then
sweat.
you say no to the triple strat. It's all part of the setup.
We're all in for
Man, that would have
You guys wanna
been
do a round of
clip of the
seven?
year,
Yeah.
potentially.
I'm good for
Yeah,
around a
that would have
50,
been
yeah, 50s.
tremendously savage because it would have gone bet or like check, bet, re-raise, or raise, re-raise. I mean, like all the chips would have piled into the middle. Both players so excited about getting all of the money in, and then Lexo would have perhaps just vomited right onto the table. I'm not quite sure what have
And
happened.
I don't know if I would have blamed him.
Yeah.
Mr. Delivery, 3-piece,
That's what they call
up
it
to
nowadays.
900 with 5-6 suited. Maybe taking advantage of his perception of Bridge Mike's game, and Mr. Delivery going to take down another one.
Perception confirmed. Bridge Mike here flatting the small raise to 200 and then just ditches it.
I would have done the same.
I mean, so I'm all for not overplaying ace queen. That much is true. But
What part do you live at now?
yeah, if you're not gonna play it as a 3-bet pre-flop and someone does 3-bet, it's pretty unusual
Dallas,
to
would you
just fold that in position. You can certainly be getting set up for a big loss. That much is true, but yeah.
He's gonna have
Playing
to
a little
make
snug
money
is
soon.
all.
A little snug.
Is it
Maybe he
getting
just
colder
wants to
or
pick a better spot, doesn't want to play.
feels good. This is nice.
Mr. Delivery is good at the game.
Keep it right here.
Maybe trying to find a better spot.
That's definitely true. Definitely true. All right, 3
3-5
players.
queen.
This one.
Comes Jack, RV Phil.
Oh,
Kind of
yeah,
the best
that
of
was
it.
sick.
I was making styrofoam wine.
It's been greatly exaggerated.
Miguel.
It was the best 2-5
Yeah, I would have
ever, but it's been
preferred to
exaggerated
see
even beyond
check raise there from Miguel if he's going to continue
There was
with the 8-9-0. You're just never, I mean, not never, you're very rarely going to improve with a 10 on the river. And yet you always could, right? So it's like if you check raise there, you give yourself an opportunity to just win the pot outright, and at the same time build a pot for when you do spike that miracle 10. If your opponent does happen to call, I don't know, whatever.
No, he had a 40.
This is sometimes it's tough to play against guys like Miguel because it's like sometimes it's truly random. And how do you play against a truly random hand in a given spot? It can be a little confusing.
Dong had him covered.
King nine of spades for Shorshi, under the gun 2. Back over to the man of the night, Miguel.
There was the bigger one.
Followed by RV Phil coming along with ace deuce off.
It was like 20.
3 ways.
Yeah, the other was like 40.
Oh, really?
10, 9, 4, 2 diamonds.
Against 2 people.
Miguel, queen high flush draw.
Flush draw missed on the river, and no one showed a better hand. He was good with king jack.
RV Bill picks up a gutty here to the wheel, so a little bit of something for everybody now.
When he left
with at least 35.
up to 43, down to
Shorshi
17.
going to take a little stab here, 400.
When he left, he had at least 35.
Relatively large size here. He's like, if nobody has anything, let's just bet and take this now. But
He
get
stood up, he
quickly
said, "You
called
guys all
by
played very
Miguel.
well."
He's
But I
deuces
played-
in the
but I
box, and he
played
just
better.
needs to
That's
fade
hilarious.
So
a
great.
queen
I love
or a
that.
diamond,
What a savage.
and he does.
That was a fun day. What a savage.
Can't win them all.
Yeah, he was making all kinds of
It's a pretty thin spot to go for another bet, but it looks like Shorshi is going to do it.
I'd be making noises.
And for a large size, this is curious. A little bit of a merge there, perhaps. I'm not sure what 10s actually fold there, given the fact that the front door draws completely whiff, but targeting a weaker 9 there for a very large size. Shorshi perhaps just saying, really just don't care what you have. I just think I bet large enough you're going to fold everything
Add the I played better.
and wins the pot.
And then you got to do a good pause. There's got to be a solid pause in the middle.
Also, this could be part of that adjustment that I talked about earlier, right? This is Miguel over there.
Right.
If you think this guy is just going to look you up with like a random, what was it, a 4 would have been like sort of the hero call pair. If you think that you just bet huge and he'll look you up with that 4, why not? You know, go for the big
now you're
size
printing.
with the 9.
So delivery, raising it to 150, king jack of spades. Miguel, quick call, 7-6 suited.
Fuck that guy.
Oh, the cat here in the chat wants to know if Royal Flush versus Quad Queens would have been a bad beat jackpot. It would have been under the right circumstances had the bad beat jackpot been going on right now, but as of right now, bad beat jackpot is on a hiatus. So first of all, it's not running, so it wouldn't qualify. Second of all, when it does get started, we start with straight flush versus straight flush qualifying, and then the hands that can lose slowly get weaker and weaker to the point where you could have quad queens lose to a straight flush, and that would indeed qualify for the bad beat. But it takes a little bit for it to get down to there, and then if nobody hits the bad beat as we continue to decrease the qualifier, it'll go all the way down to a full house, aces full of kings, losing 2 quads or better, and on down from there. So when we get that fired back up again, we will all enjoy the sweat of trying to hit the bad beat jackpot. But as of right now, that is not live.
I have it on good authority, though, that it is coming very, very soon.
Excellent. I love to hear that.
Just recorded a very relevant voiceover today for
a little
an
bit
event
of
of that very
teaser
kind.
here, a little prelude for all of you fine folks hanging out with us here this evening.
Why my voice is going out, I guess, because I was screaming from the top of the mountaintops about the bad beat jackpot coming.
Nice. Dude, it's just so much more fun to play. Like, I already love playing cards at Texas Card House. It's already a wonderful environment. You got the best dealers around, and it's just already awesome. And then on top of it, it's like, and would you like the chance to win like 25, 30, 40K for getting your ass handed to you in a big pot? Like, let's go.
Let's go.
How awesome is that?
I would love to. I've never come close to winning one of those, but it's got to be the best feeling. Like the full spectrum of emotions. The absolute lowest lows, seeing you got completely owned, and then the highest of highs, realizing that you're about to have a potentially like year-changing payday.
Yeah.
Depending on your tax bracket, I guess.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, an extra 25K is going to be pretty Gucci, but yeah, you're right. It's
That sounds
relative.
fun, actually.
Miguel there just pedal to the metal, taking another one down. That time was 7 high.
Well, I need like 4-liners.
Does anyone ever have anything on bad authority, says Jedi Master Ted? Yeah, no, I think people have things on bad authority all the time. That's
all the time.
Gossip.
Yeah.
They may not preface it with that. I have this on bad authority.
I have that on
But
terrible
I think that
authority.
just qualifies as gossip. All right, a
Two
couple of big
jiggities.
hands running into each other here. Shorshi with the Judies, the Jiggities. This 8 hundo.
Mr. Delivery. A similar spot that he just put another player in.
Yeah, I remember when Strip Deck came to Dallas for a while, everyone was playing it with all the
Little tanky here from Mr. Delivery. I
seven.
feel like he probably knows what he's doing.
They hated it because everyone went broke. They lost a lot of their customers.
No,
Is 4 coming? No, that's a 3. Or that's a call.
no, not that, no. But I'd
Yeah,
definitely
so,
try it.
you know,
That sounds like a lot of fun.
makes a lot of sense. It looks like we've got the button in the wrong position here for the graphics.
Wow.
It looks like Miguel is indeed on the button, not in the small blind. So not exactly sure how that happened, but
Well, see, with all this,
Miguel
if
here
you've never
is
played
being
guys,
invited into the pot. So
Pro
Mr. Delivery
30,
here
because you're just
recognizing that if he just calls, he invites Miguel to come along, and now he gets to play this one in position. Mr. Delivery, man in the middle. So that's factoring into whether or not he went for the 4-bet, the fold, or the call. But indeed, we are going 3 ways to a flop. 2,500 in the middle comes Jack, Jack, 8 with a couple of clubs. And this is the second time tonight that we've seen flop quads.
Unbelievable. It is very hard to flop quads with a pocket pair, and it's happened twice in 2 orbits. Wow. And it comes ace on turn. Oh, no.
Yeah. Mr. Delivery still has to be cautious, though, because Shorshi here going to have a lot of ace-king in this spot. So he certainly isn't going to see this card as just like a slam dunk, I'm way out in front. Miguel, of course, still in the mix as well. Miguel playing this one on the button can certainly check back some Jack 10 of hearts, Jack 10 of clubs type holdings if those were in his range, just to sort of, you know, give his opponents a chance to hang themselves on later streets. So Mr. Delivery here still needs to be quite cautious. He's just going to make the call. Miguel, of course, going to be out of the way. We really don't want to see an ace or a queen for Mr. Delivery. But it does come a brick, and he's certainly going to be in a position to pay off one more bet, depending on the size. See how big Shorshi goes here on the end. 4,700 in the middle. Stack to pot ratio just under 2.
What is Shorshi going to do? Try to milk it? Polar. Full pot.
Yeah, I don't know. This one's tough. This one's tough because the size is so large that it almost doesn't even look like ace-king anymore, but it certainly can be. I mean, Shorshi and Mr. Delivery have played in the quarter 50 game against one another a fair bit. I think. So yeah, I mean, both these players are going to be pretty strong battling opponents. I don't know. I mean,
I
if
wonder
you're Mr.
how
Delivery,
often Mr. Delivery thinks Shorshi's doing this with kings and queens.
Oh, he's never checking the flop. with kings or queens.
True.
This is like king queen as a bluff, and then like ace king or better for value. And it's pretty much, I think, I don't know. I'd be hard pressed to find another hand combination that goes for a bluff here other than king queen, because everything else would have had an incentive to bet on the flop. Would have had some sort of like gut shot equity, at least something like that.
Already the biggest pot of the night. If Mr. Delivery calls, this will be about a $15,000 pot.
The only other option is that Shorshi would have something just like ace 5 that like checked flop and was just like totally giving it up, and then turns the ace and is like, okay, I can bet for a little bit of value, gets called, and is then like, oh, my kicker sucks, so I have to try to push my opponent off of a better kicker because they're sort of capped, right? Like Mr. Delivery is very much capped at ace queen here, so maybe I can push him off of ace 10, ace 9. Yeah. Wow. Mr. Delivery sort of settles on there's enough bluffs in Shorshi's range that I can pay this off / bluff catch it. And yeah, he does make the call. Big pot there for Shorshi.
$14,000 pot headed over to Shorshi. Flopping 4 of a kind.
It's nice.
And that's a massive swing for Shorshi. He was one of our biggest losers. And he's going to go from second to the bottom to second to the top in terms of overall earnings here so far tonight. So massive swing here for
And now he's got almost 20K in his stack.
Yeah, and of course just a brutal hit here for Mr. Delivery.
And only in poker can you ask some stranger to lend you $10,000 on basically a handshake.
That's the guy.
Oh, I'm doing.
This guy's a legend, bro.
Shorshi is my word fucking dude.
I'm doing. He is so much fun to play with. Yeah. And he's a legend. He walked out with 40 something. Good for him. I'm happy he did.
Talk about me there?
No, not you. I would never say those words out loud. I guess he's on behavior. He got kicked out last time he was here. He's a loud one.
Wow.
Yeah,
what a spot.
He's
Mr.
here,
Delivery,
we
though,
didn't
going to
hear
pop right back into the mix. Not going to get
Jeff?
downtrodden over that loss.
guy
So
who spit
raising
the
it up.
chip out.
8-7 suited. Miguel in there with the 5-4. RV Phil going to try to sneak in there, and Sabine here. Perfect spot for a squeeze out of the straddle.
Yeah, Mr. Delivery plays this stake all the time, so just part of the cost of doing business. Hands like that, so he's right back at it, borrowing a solid stack from Shorshi. Now stacks are serious. A lot of players over that kind of 10 to 15K mark. Safine raising it back with ace king. Mr. Delivery's going to call.
Yeah, he knows there's a lot of weakness behind, and his hand is going to play very well post-flop. It's either going to hit something pretty strong with a lot of potential, or it's going to be too weak to continue. This is one of those spots where it's like the worst of both worlds, where you flop top pair, you've got a gut shot to what is probably going to be the best hand most of the time, but you're just getting crushed by a big chunk of, honestly, both your opponent's range. When Safine checks, though, that's going to be a good sign here for Mr. Delivery to think that his hand is best. Of course, RV Phil here has actually outflopped everyone with the top pair and 10 kick-in.
Quarter pot from Mr. Delivery. Quick call from RV Phil. It's too cheap to fold, feels like.
Problem is, if you're Safine, you could actually just be drawing dead at this point. If either player has flopped a straight or flopped a set. And, I mean, even like two pairs, right? Like 6-4 may not even like feel that inclined to raise. We see RV Phil is in here with the 10-7, so he could certainly have 6-4 suited on occasion. The ace king just really doesn't perform very well. You could turn top pair and still be behind, and that's just a really rough spot to be in. So I think the fold there, even for the small size, makes a ton of sense. Mr. Delivery going to slow things down with a check now on the turn. RV Phil was the player that he was probably most concerned about continuing. When he did, it's time to slow it down and hope to get to showdown. But RV Phil going to bet for value here with the 10 kicker. Going to attack the 8-7s of the world, and I guess maybe the 6-5s, 6-5 suiteds of the world that could be in there for Mr. Delivery. Now this is pretty awkward. You are indeed Steven here. It's like, what does he have? But something like an ace-5, king-5 suited is possible, so he's going to continue, and it's a 9 here on the end. 10 will continue kicking here for RV Phil.
$9,000 pot.
Yeah, I think you just check here if you're Phil. I can't really imagine betting to get additional value. Yeah, he's just going to turn his hand over, in fact, and 10 is going to work.
Man, sizable pot with the 10-7 ball.
Is this the straddle round? Yeah.
Yeah, a couple of tough hands here, back-to-back for Steven. Whacked down in 2 spots, and with that, into 5-figure territory.
The 50 is on, 5-10 and a quarter, and 5-10 a quarter, 50. No limit hold'em. Price of Poker continues to go up here in Dallas, Texas. Ben K and Aaron McAvoy with you. Live from Texas Card House, Dallas. Hit that subscribe button.
Sorry, the VPIPs popped up there for such a short period of time, but Miguel up at 70%
Needed a jack on
and is playing some hands here tonight.
70% through an hour and 45 minutes is pretty strong.
Yeah,
For those at home, VPIP basically.
Hands, I mean, he's played 30. 30 of them.
I got a butter up. Keep him butter up. You know, you have to. Taught me a hard lesson with 4 players. Fucking 2 months ago, I come in and
Multi-way Miguel in here with the 4-3-0. This man is a legend.
Yeah. Legend in the making.
11 a.m.
Lex O flops a flush, checks to him on the button with 640 in the middle.
Straight flush
We've all
redraw.
been there, you know. We've all been there, man.
He's going to go small, and I mean, I think this is fine. I also would go bigger myself, just because if somebody does have a big spade, they're not going to fold for like a 2/3 sizing. And if somebody has a 10, I honestly don't think they're going to fold for a 2/3 sizing. So the 1/4 pot, even with all the players behind, a little bit small for my liking, but he does get Mr. M to continue. And it's another small bet here from Lexo, 3 1/4 into 900.
What does that mean? The fuck?
Inviting Mr. M to continue. Top with the nut flush redraw. I mean he's
M's got to love his hand.
No, and he's getting a brilliant price for the hand that he has, right? I mean, we can just see that he is miles behind. But
Thank you. Is a good hand.
I feel like it's gonna drive a wedge in our friendship. You're gonna be like, wow,
How do you price this?
Jeez,
really? He's worried about his friendship.
He pretends to be, at least. I don't know.
I mean, now is probably the time to make it look like you missed your big flush card and go for the big sizing. But I've been sort of backwards about Lexo's sizing throughout, so he may just go small again. And no, he does go for the size out finally here on the end, 1400 now. And does indeed make it look like he's missed. If you're going to tell the story of small, big, I think that makes a lot of sense.
Mr. M feels like he can't fold. I mean,
I can't show
but he
more
does.
capabilities than I do.
Yeah, I mean, his hand at this point
Just
functioning better as a raise
than
a call.
It'll be up in what, 5 minutes?
Another nice size one for
You're
Lexo,
not gonna be mysterious for that
who is
one.
at the top of the leaderboard
Straddle round, guys. Do I?
for earnings. Over 5K. Mr. Delivery in the hole for 10, but not out. Plenty of poker to be played.
Out of
And
joy.
we've seen him rally before for
But now it's out of obligation.
30, 40,000. He's definitely got it in him. But it's anyone's game here almost halfway through this live stream.
It works a lot easier with when it's the guy who flop quads, not against the guy. Sure. The guy who paid him off.
Yeah, and it sure is easy when you flop quads.
You really gonna make me stand up and look at it, or no? I'm not gonna look at it.
Raise the 150.
All right, here we go. Bridge Mike. Waking up with a nice hand. Is going to raise it. Small size, just a 3x.
Insta call from Miguel with ace queen.
Yeah, from the small blind here,
to wait like
generally
3
speaking,
hours for
gonna
the waffle.
go for the larger squeeze size, but we've seen Bridge Mike
Wow.
here
I'm not
playing a more cautious style, a little bit smaller pot type
Yeah, I don't think
operation.
it's that big.
Check flop, bets turn, gets called by Miguel looking for one of
I think
those
it's like
10s.
pre-packaged.
And that actually would have been one hell of a spicy river card, but it's not. It's 6 of hearts. Does bring in the front door flush. Could Miguel splashes out about a 350 here after Bridge Mike checks it over to him. Can he find the call here? 2 10s, no heart. For the small size? And he can.
Nice
go,
call.
Bridge Mike.
I go to check my phone, there's a text from Cashman. For the record, we were both gassed.
Is it 3K by
Nice
now?
call,
You
Bridge Mike.
confirm?
I will let him
1400.
be any dollar amount he wants.
Yeah.
I don't.
Head over to the Bridge World Champion
I have
of the
no
world.
problem with it being 3K.
I even told him.
Wait, has he been world
I
champion?
thought it was 1, but I'm happy.
No, I don't know how the rankings work, but he's apparently the top ranked Bridge player in the world
Oh, wow. Okay.
at some
He said
point.
it started as 1 and 20.
Okay, fantastic. Excellent.
Yeah. I haven't verified it, but that's
If
been the
what he's
recurring
saying,
story
I
for
don't
the
know.
last 2 or 3
I
years.
think you guys just
Okay.
misunderstood each other because you said best of 3 and you probably just understood.
Did I ever tell you I was the
best of
top
3.
ranked spear fisherman in the world?
No.
I'm just going to see what I can get you to believe at this point. I'm just kidding. I'm
You know,
sure
and,
Bridge Mike or whatever is absolutely what you say. But I mean, it sounds like people just tell you stuff and you buy
I'm just
into
a
it.
trusting guy, you know? Until you prove me otherwise, I'll believe whatever you want to say.
All right, I got some waterfront property in Arizona that is primo.
Prime real estate.
Let's go.
Great price. For you only.
Tell you what, I'm going to step out, use the restroom. I will return
All
with
right.
y'all in the capable hands of Mr. Ben Kirby.
We'll see. See if we can't burn this thing to the ground while Mr. McAvoy's gone. It's a fiend.
Casual 2000 big blind pot.
Suited connector, 3-4 spades, up to 325 with a couple calls.
Is that how big it is?
No, it's gonna be.
Comes Jack high.
And more likely it's gonna be like a 40 big blind.
Single call, excuse me.
When the 800 is on.
Pair threes for Safine, pair sevens for RV Phil.
That's okay.
The
I'll check.
HA against the TT. And here we go.
One time, dumbass.
9 of diamonds on the turn. Goes check, check, and an ace.
I saw the group on Dong's phone now. Like by accident. I just sat next to him and he just pulled it up. And I saw one time don't ask. I saw the group chat that's called that.
I don't think that's the one I'm in.
Yeah, me neither. What's that one?
Ah, he just pulled up his phone and I'm not like I'm trying to look at his phone, you know, but whatever. And it said one time don't ask. That's where that comes from, right? Like,
Yeah.
I,
100.
Hello.
$100 straddle is on.
Oh, here we go.
We're playing some big poker now, folks.
You want me to do it?
Well, you looked already. I was bluffing, so I don't know.
Oh, the 200's on. Excuse me.
Actually, wait, no. No, you got it
Freaking
through.
go.
Wait a second.
Yeah, you got it through. That's close.
Mr. M, Queen 9 suited in the small blind.
Don't try and patch it.
$200 straddle.
As soon as he puts the 4 out, it's on. I promise that.
So you are
The
going.
200 straddle is on.
What's that?
Miguel going to complete, and RV Phil checking his option. Heads up.
Thank you. Makes sense. Which is fair to think a second, but then you always end
Queen
up calling.
10 for anyone's
That's how I
game.
play it usually. I'd be like, what's
Welcome
he?
to
What's
straight
that?
draw from
What's-
Miguel.
can I chop sometimes? Alright, I guess.
200.
That's how I play that hand.
200 RV Phil with the 9-7.
See, but when I play like you,
Seems like he's got plans, maybe. In position.
I have no clever comeback.
And Miguel rivers the king high straight. Check, check.
See, I have to think twice or 3 times as hard. This is not my native language.
Golly, man.
This is quite tough.
Miguel has
Try being
gone
smart in
perfect, perfect
Spanish.
more times tonight than I've seen anyone in a while.
Okay. I have no idea. You guys try being smart in Spanish. Okay, no. You guys try being as smart in Spanish as I am in English. Then we can talk.
And as humble in English.
You do great.
Thank you.
What a statement.
I've always said, Drew, that I
Try my best.
Savage. Love it.
I'd probably be so much farther in life if I was that confident.
Yeah, I think I'm doing okay on the whole like.
Unbelievable. All right, I too am going to step out BRB.
All right, all right, all right. Just in time for everybody to wake up with rags and throw them all into the bin. Miguel, though, going nowhere with the 8 tray. Says double me down.
and hockey when
Phil in there with a couple of 5s, checks his option, and Miguel just instantly fires at this ace-high board, and RV Phil's like, no chance. Pocket 5s are probably still good, and
I don't want to watch shitty basketball.
I get hated on a lot for being
Miguel just
a
folded.
Munich fan because I'm 2
Miguel
hours
Miguel
away
just
from
straight
home,
up folded.
Yeah.
I'm still in Bavaria.
Phil
so
doesn't have to sweat
I
any
am
more
Bavarian.
bets.
And
With pocket 5s, we'll take that one down. As we take another look at the earnings. Lex O Shorshi up around 5K. Miguel taking a little bit of a step down there in the standings. Still up over 4,000, but not quite at the top anymore.
To like watch boring sports, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to watch the Bulls when they're like 29 and whatever 82 minus 29 is.
Lex O here taking a little step away from the table. Isn't going to get to play his Queen 6-0. I missed something. But
A well-timed break.
oh, I see. Oh, it was a round of straddles, and Lex O wasn't at the table, so he didn't have to put his 50 out there. I see. That's what they're laughing about. Okay, okay. Mr. Delivery does open, raise with 10-9-0 on the button. Miguel and Paolo in there. Miguel flopping best with top pair. Check, check, check. And Paolo now. Top pair on the turn. Checks through once again. Free river card, 10 of clubs. And Mr. Delivery gets back into the lead. Rivering 10s and 9s.
125.
Half pot here from Paolo, going for a little bit of value. Miguel makes the snap call, so does Mr. Delivery. There's going to be 625 going the way of Steven in the 9 seed.
Not doing well with extreme temperature drinks, no matter what.
Mad Benjamin here in the chat says, Hump Day live poker from TCH. What's not to like? Absolutely correct. You haven't had a chance to rear back and strike the like button with the force of 1,000 ostriches. We encourage you to do so. Also, please do make sure that you are subscribed to the channel so that you can participate in the chat, earn yourself some TCH Live loyalty points, and just generally be an all-around stand-up citizen.
I guess they don't want us to be distracted.
Join us here on the TCH Live team and be alerted to all of our future broadcasts
Are we able to put TV on this TV behind me?
by hitting the little bell icon.
Usually, the checker players can just ask what the blinds are, but if I gotta ask what the freaking Mavs score is.
It's on the tournament clock right now.
Mavs are down 8.
I see that. No, they're down 11. Oh, giving me hope there.
Miguel here going to limp in from the small blind with 6-5 off. RV Phil with a couple of 6s is going to raise this up. Lex O still away from the table. His $25 blind will be consumed.
Probably the same answer, yeah.
But Miguel not going anywhere. So in a dominated position here is Miguel. RV Phil in position with the betting lead. And wow, up and down straight draw though for Miguel.
Pair.
Wow.
So trips, case 6 on the river.
What a run out.
And Miguel's got 5s and 6s.
Whoa.
What? That
Whoa.
Wait, what?
was that an angle?
Hold on. What just happened?
Okay. Here's what I'm going to say. I don't think that's an angle. They're both laughing about it. I think that Miguel was 100% going to call,
It's okay.
but hadn't fully assembled the chips
You sure
to toss
about
in yet. And RV Phil just showed him his hand. I mean, it's on you to actually wait till the chips cross the line before you expose your hand. I mean, I don't think Miguel had any intention of doing anything other than actually calling, and RV just showed him his cards.
Right.
Just a little preemptively. I mean, it was sort of like a chip fumble, you know, where you you reach for it and then you realize that you don't actually have the full amount, so you go back. I mean, I don't think there's anything shady about that. I mean, and honestly, even if Miguel was trying that, I mean, it's on Phil to actually just wait his turn. But at the end of the day, I mean, you saw them. They're both laughing about it.
Yeah, they
so
weren't super worried about it. It's just an interesting sequence of events there.
Absolutely was. But, I mean, that was $500 that RV Phil was absolutely getting. $500 that he was getting, and he just a little preemptively snapped over the 6s.
Oh my.
All right, Miguel here with a couple of kings. Proudly displays them after winning
Goodness, Miguel.
the pot of 440.
Let me take some home, okay? Just a little.
And Miguel on quite the
I know.
heater.
Why is everyone after
Been up and down in terms of profit.
though. Yeah, was up 10K. He's now up 4 1/4. So it feels kind of bad, honestly, when you're at the spot.
Yeah.
You're definitely in upstuck
Feel like you're
territory
losing.
where you're like, damn, I had heaps on like the
hate
first
that
2
feeling.
orbits. Heaps.
This is the downfall of enjoying playing a lot of different types of weird hands
Yeah.
in different kinds of positions. It often can spew a bit.
Yeah, honestly, VPIPs above 50% will generally get you into the danger zone. 70% VPIPs are certainly going to do it unless you are running real pure.
Yeah, over a 4-hour period is pretty. The math doesn't usually add up.
But it is hella fun to watch. It is hella fun to go on those rampages.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we've all, if you play this game long enough, you'll go on a stretch where you're like card dead for 4 orbits and you're like, this feels unreal, like this shouldn't be allowed. And then the opposite will happen where it's just like, I'm just playing every 2 suited cards because like I'm hitting everything and, you know, I can't lose a hand. Just every time I'll fold a hand because it was 10 deuce suited. Like, okay, I'm finally gonna fold because it was a raise and a 3-bet, and it just comes like deuce deuce queen, and you're like, why am I folding anything right now? This is madness. So it comes and it goes.
Miguel, another premium starting hand. Ace-Jack suited, and now he's kind of in this rhythm of limping 90% of his hands and calling any raise.
RV Phil finding his way in there as well with the King 5 off, so getting some spicy continues.
It's a little anticlimactic top pair with a jack for both Bridge Mike and Miguel. 10 of hearts on turn.
Yeah, it doesn't improve anybody's equity, so this is a nothing burger of a turn, but Bridge Mike here is going to go ahead and take a little stab, just trying to build the pot, thin the field sort of operation here. Gets called by Miguel, of course. These 2 players are going to chop things up. Diamond on the end. Nobody should be betting at this, and yeah.
Yeah, I saw you on the.
My card for the pot.
Yeah.
Hack it in half.
Closest to the flush draw wins the pot.
How's your room?
Here's a question for you, Mr. Kirby.
Yeah.
Slow rolling a chop. fair play or still obnoxious and shouldn't be allowed?
Wow.
Or shouldn't be approached? What do you think?
In
Gotta
poker,
check it out.
I'm not the best
Yeah,
at
I
being
will, for
emotionally stable, and so any kind of slow roll sends me into a very bad place. And so I
Okay.
think I default to being anti-slow roll in every,
Okay.
unless there's a very niche social context where everybody's ribbing each other and it's like acceptable. I don't know. I guess I mean, whatever. It's whatever you want to do. I can't stand it on the real slow rolls. I got no time for that.
Okay.
But maybe the chop, it's like, unless it's a huge consequential pot, it's probably fine. What do you think?
So, for the longest time, did not even really fully appreciate the concept of the slow roll because it just was very foreign to me. It was like, oh, like the hand's over. Like you win, you turn over your hand. Like, well, of course, you drag the pot like onto the next hand. Then, you know, as I got more experience with the game, was like, oh, this is a thing that you can do, and like you can do it in a really nasty way to like mess with somebody. And so then I observed it from that perspective, and it was like, oh, this is like a no-no thing. This is something you don't do. And then I saw people doing it to each other, like that were friendly with one another, and in particularly doing it when they were chopping a pot. And it was hilarious, right? When I saw it, I was like, oh, that was the best thing I've ever seen, because like that guy thought that he was winning, but then he didn't win, but he also didn't lose. You know, it was like the whole thing. All of the emotions were wrapped up in one, and it was very fun. And so then, since then, I've largely tried to slow roll in every chop spot that I have, that I think is with a person that will like appreciate it, or at least like not get too upset about it.
Right.
I have tried to push the boundaries there with just like a random person in a tournament. They're like, well, let's see what happens if I slow roll this chop here real quick. And like, you know, it didn't go over badly, but it also wasn't the best thing. But I don't know. I'm curious because I have also experienced people, maybe even not players that were necessarily in the hand, but that observed it and certainly saw it as an affront, you know, saw it as like a nasty thing that had just been done.
Yeah.
And so I was curious about your position on it, because I don't know. I think that there's so many layers to this game.
Right.
And there's so much going on that, like, it's a game, we should be having fun. It's also competitive. It's a zero sum. You know, all of these things are layered on top of each other, and it's tough to ever have it all figured out. But to me,
there's so many.
Yeah, so I was just going to say, to me, that the slow roll is like a very nuanced and particular thing, and everyone's going to have a different opinion about.
Yeah, there's so
usage.
many elements in any one session that can affect your sense of humor, that kind of thing. Like, if you're winning and everybody's having a good time, it's probably rolls off your back. But if you're stuck and you've been grinding for 15 hours and you're just trying to like scrape back to even, and someone slow rolls your chop where you feel like you're about to win a scoop of significant one, I could see that's still not going great. But that seems to be the lowest risk. The chop spots are the lowest risk time to do a slow roll.
Yeah.
Especially like for you playing a lot more regularly and probably knowing a majority of the people at least TCH Austin, there's probably a lot more spots where you're like, all right, this guy's going to have a good sense of humor about this.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'll tell you, man, it is always a risk. You definitely do run the risk of rubbing somebody the wrong way. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, the last guy I did it to, there was a very mixed emotions at the table. Like, most people just like roared with laughter. They thought it was hilarious and amazing, and like the guy that I did it to was definitely in shock. Like, whoa, what? You just slow rolled me? You know, and I was like, oh, dude, like, I'm sorry. I'd only ever do this to you in a chop, right? I felt like I had to explain myself. Like, it definitely did create a situation. But, I mean, he's a great guy, and I, you know, by the end of it, of course, he was laughing and thought it was, you know, fine. But, yeah, that moment of like, oh, dude, I got him, I'm winning this pot, and then you find out you didn't. Yeah, that's shocking.
Did you win the bomb pot?
Yeah, we're taking out.
Who won the bomb pot?
We take 50 out.
Just whoever, yeah, whoever. Okay. Whoever.
All right, bomb pot time. Top set here for Miguel on the top board.
Kind of a nice
Gut
little
shot.
hand developing for him.
I don't remember who won.
I remember I put in 300 and I folded.
Oh, Lex O with.
I mean, we
Oh
can.
no, I did. I
What?
won.
Oh, is it a
You
misdeal?
guys, you guys chopped it. Miguel.
Yeah.
So just take a quarter a piece
Yes.
out.
I can guarantee you that Lex O did not just fold top set on the
I
bottom.
believe it is.
Oh, just 25 each. Yeah.
Yeah,
is
and then
happening?
50 out of here.
50 for every.
Did you take the 50 out there?
I have not.
Go. Give me the 50. I'll hang on.
That's what I was. Okay. So there's that. Okay. And we have a winner.
Yeah,
And then out of this one, it's
there's definitely something to be said for folding sets when you don't have anything working on the other board. But top set is a tough sell
I mean, why would
Yeah.
on the flop, right? Like,
No, I said why
there's so many ways for your hand to improve, and
you go back here, man?
if multiple players stay in and you go like 4 ways to a river, just put heaps of chips in the middle and you have top vote or something by the end. I mean, it's worth it to be in for half the pot. So, yeah, I don't really know if that's what he actually had or not.
Yeah.
Whose straddle is it?
Paolo.
Would be Paolo's, but he doesn't have to.
Yeah, like in PLO Bomb Pots, man, I'll tell you, I will fold bottom and middle set faster than you would imagine if I don't have anything on the other board. I see a lot of players get sucked into these spots where
Yeah, if you're
trying
not
to improve
careful.
that hand. I ain't doing it.
Any marks?
Miguel here, yeah, still continuing to just call, so sticking with a plan, which is don't raise too much. And wow, what a flop. Look at this. Clubs for Paolo, bottom set for Lex O. Miguel, of course, still in there with the trapped jacks. And yeah, seeing this bet and snap call in front, Lex O is licking his chops. Time to raise this puppy up and go big. Only 300. Honestly, I would have liked to have seen just a little bit larger size there, but all things considered, it's going to get the job done. Quick call from Paolo. Miguel is out of the way.
Make it like sometimes.
No additional equity here for Paolo. He was really hoping for a club, and if not, then maybe something like a 9, a jack, or a 6, but
Grunts.
see if Lex O sizes this appropriately to string him along. 700, a little bit too big for just the naked flush draw. I'll take the 1500 in the middle.
Now we know why it was just.
In the Lex O show tonight, esteemed content creator on YouTube, Lex O Poker, leading the way in the 5-10 and a quarter game. Live from Dallas, Texas. You can see Mr. Delivery still working out of a $10,000 hole. Still plenty of poker remains. 2 hours remaining in our stream. And, I mean, if this isn't the perfect representation of Dallas poker, I don't know what is. Lots of limping in late position, even early position. 6-8's in there, Jack Deuce is in there, multi-way, and a raised pot. Pretty fun poker to be played tonight. Or that has been played tonight so far.
Absolutely. Yeah, a little bit of a different vibe over the quarter 50 game, usually streamed on Tuesdays.
Sure.
Of course, I wasn't in the booth last night, but yeah, it's a little bit less like 3-bet, 4-bet type situations. A little bit more flatting and limping in this game for sure. But man, we have seen a ton of action here through hand number 56. Jack 10 here on the flop. 2 players to a turn, 6 of diamonds.
Wow. RV filled with the world.
Yeah, Sabine in here just kind of trying to steamroll the flop here with the Broadway blocker and the nut heart. RB Phil gonna lead out here on the turn on this very innocuous 6 of diamonds. Safine could have thought about floating and then trying to punk him on any Heart River, but he thinks better of it and just gets out of the way. Understandable. It's always weird when your opponent leads at you on a turn that is just like inconsequential. You're like, I don't know what's going on over there, but like, this doesn't feel good.
Yeah, I hate those spots. I just never know how to react. It's like, you have no reason to be leading into me, but you're doing it. Why? What is happening?
So
Oh, you
Miguel,
have trips.
yeah, Miguel took that 70% VPIP as a challenge and is now up over 76% VPIP.
I love it so much. These are the type of people you need on the live stream.
Yeah, and despite being up 10K early and now only up like 4,000 and change, has honestly still been having success. I mean, a couple of big hands haven't gone his way in some fairly tough spots, actually. The rest of these have just been trying to see flops and see if he can connect, and just kind of whiffing. But 10-7 off. Is this worthy of a flop with this massive under the gun open? It is.
Let's go. Let's go, man.
So we saw this earlier, right? RV Phil opened just massively, the 16X, and he does it again. And there's a 10 for both players out there.
600.
Wow. This is wild stuff. All right, both players with a diamond. But check, check. 9 on the end, chop it up if we get to showdown. We needed a little baby card for the kickers to play, and here's a slow roll opportunity that Miguel does not go for. He's just going to show it.
RB Phil, the gift of a 9 on the end to chop this $2,000 pot.
High card for the pot.
High card for the pot. Oh yeah.
Let's do it.
They said yes.
Yeah,
Let's
announced.
go.
So you want to do high card
There's a
for...
high card for the pot.
High card for
They
the
are
pot.
there.
All right.
6. No, you're good.
I love
There's
this.
Alright,
Whoa, are they doing it? Oh, I thought that was just a troll from Mr. Delivery, but they're actually going to do it. They're going to high card for the pot rather than chop.
Alright, come on guys.
Pick one, Miguel.
Quick.
Squeeze it.
Pick one.
Quick. Pick a card.
Oh, he snaps over an ace. Oh my god.
Yeah, that one is
Wow, Peter check. Peter confirmed. Miguel
You want me to pick one, do you?
Just drilling the ace.
drilling the ace to scoop a $2,000 pot. Wow.
How they gonna?
Unbelievable.
How are they gonna?
It's
do
kind
that
of a
with
fun
the-
little thing
that
to high card for the pot instead of
Oh, yeah.
chopping it.
He won it.
I have a
really
feeling
fun.
that Streamlabs, sorry, not Streamlabs, but RF Poker, it is
We did it once.
not the easiest to sort that one out on. But.
50 on. That'll be the last time I do that for you, bro.
Yeah, don't even have the courtesy to peel a 3.
That's, we'll have to ask Minit and the RF Poker team to update the software with a high card for the pot option.
And now we've got a real battle. Q's versus K's.
I heard you did a
Mr.
high card
Ramos
a couple nights
looks
ago.
very strong
And you guys
since
clarified
we
that the
played a
suits
few hands
count
tonight.
and then really pulled 2 queens.
Yeah.
That's sick, man. Like he goes stop, stop, stop. What if it's the same card?
Yeah, it's always.
And you
yeah.
really pull the same
Hijack
card?
cutoff
Yeah,
is
of
the
course.
dynamic here with the 4
Straight, hard, standard
blind
stuff.
game in effect.
Reverse sympathetic.
So these two players not particularly, this is more like middle position versus middle position, but Safine definitely still with a hand that is far out in front of the cutoff 3-betting range traditionally.
It's just correct.
One, you're saying anything 7
I think Mr. M here has a couple of options. One, as the shorter stack at the table, he can definitely just rip this all in pre, or he can flat and play in position with a stacked pot ratio just a shade over 1, like 1.5, which it's going to be quite easy for him to get all the chips in, and he has the benefit of playing in position with a very strong holding.
Which is way simpler.
He's just going to ship it. And Sabine will have to make a call. He completely unblocks all the ace-kings of the world, but he is going to need to find the last remaining queen in the deck.
Look at him. Look at
So far, so good for Mr. M, and a scary river card, but that's not actually a scare card.
11,700. Nice size pot hitter by Mr. M. Waited for that one.
Oh yeah, I didn't like that river at all.
You can hear Mr. M there. I did not like that river.
I didn't even. We're just talking about.
We got all the money in.
Oh.
Pre-flop.
What's it like to win an $11,000 pot?
Sabina was an ace.
Queens.
It's got to feel pretty good.
Biggest pot you've ever won?
Feels like the first.
Oh, biggest pot is probably like
Well, had to come to this.
in the 2K.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been recreational a long time.
Sure.
What about you?
Biggest pot I ever won, I think, was like 14 or 15.
Need barrels on 20, please. Barrels on 20.
And did that get you unstuck?
That was my biggest win of all time in the cash game streets. Was the night that I won that pot. Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, that was one of those nights where you sort of walk away, you get into your car, and you start driving home, and you just kind of have to pinch yourself a little. You're like, did that just happen? Did I just run that good?
If I get pulled over right now, I am not going to be able to explain this amount of cash.
I know better than to let them search my vehicle, but if they somehow did,
That's
yes,
awesome.
it would be weird.
14 then?
Yeah, close to 14, yeah.
Oh man, yeah, no, that was pretty spectacular. I also had to hero call off. I mean, hero call. I say hero call, but like my opponent went all in, put me to the test, and I did have to make the call in a
You
spot
loved it
where
when they say good call.
ranges were very narrow. Yeah.
Jack 6-4.
Three ways. RB Phil, Ace Jack flopping open-ended straight. Oh, Safine flopping the joint.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Just the nuts.
600. 10,000 behind.
A little under half pot here from Safine RV Phil with a redraw, or sorry, with an open-ender with a draw to the stones. Does have the backdoor diamonds working as well.
Flop late.
Not a great card here for RV Phil.
Don't know about that.
Safine here probably also doesn't particularly love this card, but this is also a card that can get him paid if his opponent has something like Ace Queen or King Queen. So he's very likely to hammer this hard. Almost all of his money is wrapped up in these yellow chips.
Oh yeah, it's hard to see the lighting. Looks like he's only got a few chips behind, but he's got an $11,000 stack.
1.8K is the bet, and if you're RV Phil here, you have a hand that could just literally be drawing dead. And while it's also possible that if you spike your ace or your king, that you're going to not only win the 4,300 in the middle, but well, I mean, he has to put another 8.8 into it, so it's going to go up over 6K. But that you could win that plus some. But at the same time, the fact that you could just be drawing dead here, yeah, I think this is going to be a reluctant fold. I, of course, have been wrong before. RV Phil here, gonna think it through, does let it go. And
The Ace
Safine
Jack by JD.
gonna drag a nice little pot there and move him up to 15,500 in the stack. And I'm sure we'll get a look at the earnings here in just a moment. Sure enough, Mr. M at the top, Lex O, Shorshi, RV Phil, and Miguel. Safine here, still stuck 9K after taking some pretty savage beats earlier on. Delivery still down full 5 figures.
I realize Safine is almost in for a stack of high society.
Thank you, sir. Yep.
That was a bluff.
100 to play, full pull.
Haven't heard much from Paolo tonight. Hasn't really had that many hands either.
Commentators immediately said,
Yeah, he kind of went on a little rush there at the very beginning, playing, I think it was like half of the first orbit, and then, yeah, kind of gone a little bit silent.
Total of 250. All right.
Harvey
I
had
think they were hoping Harvey got, like, Harvey was like, maybe I can call my 9.
True to form, Miguel
Harvey
in
had
there
raised
with
very early position, right?
any
So he's
Two
very
outs.
likely to have 2s and 4s.
You don't have to explain much.
He hits one of his 2 outs.
I'm just learning, so I appreciate it. You know,
Okay. Paolo,
suck resuck.
suck, resuck, pair of
I
jacks.
apologize. It's not check. Bet a 500 on the road. Check.
Very complicated hand. Very unique spot. Very deep stacks.
Yeah, Miguel's like, how do we just go check, and now you bet almost full pot
Miguel making
with a hand
the
that
correct fold.
4 beats. Yeah.
In the
Designed to make any flush.
in the
I
world
felt like
of
he could fold 2s sometimes.
Aaron McAvoy TV show recommendations, I'm a full believer now. We started the OA last night,
There's like the, I forget the name
and
of it, but
we're only one
something-
episode in,
something
but we're
law or
already
something.
hooked.
It's
We
like
had to go to bed because it got too late.
Yeah.
We finished the first episode, and I'm like, yes.
Oh my goodness.
Let's
Okay.
go. Another good
you
show.
have just barely dipped a toe in the water, my friend. And I
So curious.
yes, you have quite the treat ahead of you. I honestly am going to rewatch this show because it's been a long time since I've seen it. It's literally in my top 2 up there with Dark, and it impacted me in a very serious way when I first watched it. And yeah, I think I've got enough like temporal distance between myself and having like remembered everything and all of the story plots and all of that to go and watch it again and really enjoy it again. So it's about time.
Yeah, I'm excited.
These kind of back in the day, you know, Friedman, these kind of.
It's crazy the stories that some of these people can come up with.
Yes.
And this one is so unique. Like you'll find out as it continues, like just how original the story is, and that's something that's really, it doesn't come around very often anymore.
Right.
We have the 50 on. That's why you folded.
Oh yeah.
I think I had slightly better.
Yeah, I've been recommending all of my top shows to a couple of people here recently, and
Recommendations.
I had one given back to me that I just finished watching. Let me ask you this: have you seen Raised by Wolves?
No.
So, sci-fi dystopian future kind of movie, not movie, show. Ran for 2 seasons on HBO. Was not continued after that. They're now only available for purchase or rent or whatever on like Amazon, YouTube, etc.
Delivery wins the day.
Pretty interesting storyline. I definitely enjoyed season 1 a lot. Season 2 got a little bit weird and kind of went a little bit of a different direction, and then was not re-upped for a 3rd season. Just finished it. It was entertaining. Had some pretty cool, little twists and stuff. But all in all,
Game show.
I think you can't go wrong with the recommendations I've already given you.
Yeah, love it. Raised by Wolves. So it's not on HBO anymore. You're saying it's only Amazon.
Yeah, you'll have to pay for it, and I would say it's probably not worth purchasing.
Sure.
But it is. But if you ever do, if it ends up on a streaming service again in the future, if somebody else picks it up or whatever, it is sort of entertaining.
I mean, it's obviously just bullshit. It's just a comment some guy made.
It should just be like
18 years ago, you know. But
All right, had a couple of hands here that didn't really go anywhere of note. Paolo here, the ace-6 suited, will raise this up, and more napkins going into the bin. Yeah, nobody just has anything here this last little stretch. What about, I don't know if we talked about this before, Fringe? Did you ever watch Fringe?
no, they really need that.
That one? Yeah, so I would say Fringe. How about
I
Bone?
was just trying to help.
Anything that has to do with quads, I want a part of.
The archaeologist gal or whatever,
Very,
and the
very jealous.
FBI agent, and they
Yeah, I
sort of
think
solve.
I don't know if
Not a good
we
character,
was
man.
that like a network TV show.
Yeah, ran for like 7 seasons or something like that.
No, I haven't seen it. Is that good? 17.
I really enjoyed Bones. It's like, you know, a mix of like mind bending, like, you know, they're trying to solve these cases and stuff, and then there's of course all sorts of other just typical kind of half sitcom, half drama type interactions. Fringe to me is kind of like a cross between Dark and Bones, where you have like kind of the quirky doctor, main character, whatever, and like the hunky sidekick and the babe, and you know, like all that. It kind of fits the same story structure, but some really pretty cool concepts. I thought Fringe did a very good job. I will say that the way that the show finishes, the final season, was pretty spectacular and very off the wall, but also like I didn't hate it. You know how some shows like they get into the last season and they like throw caution to the wind and they just light the whole thing on fire and burn it down? They kind of did that, but it was also awesome. So Fringe also very good, but I would say, you know, be prepared to not enjoy it quite as much as Dark and the OA, but very good, very good show.
RV Phil enjoying bottom set versus the Jack High of Miguel and facing a bet.
Yeah, Miguel just going to try to tickle this pot and see if he can take it down, but bottom set.
Got a raise. 4's full for RV Phil. Now maybe we'll get a raise. What's happening, Travis?
Yeah, bold play here from Miguel. Don't hate it. Doesn't have diamonds, so his opponent can have a lot of busted front door draws.
Raise to 1,500.
Big raise. Instant fold. Shows him the set, or the boat.
Nice hand there for RV Phil.
Appreciate you taking.
That's going to move him into second position there on the earnings. Up nearly 4.7K.
Another big shout out to the Houston location of Texas Card House opening with a full schedule of tournaments coming up. Thursday, Friday, 2 on Friday, Saturday and Sunday from a $20 buy-in rebuy. Very classic Poker Stars style tournament all the way to a $300 10K guarantee. So if you're in the Houston area, check out the new Texas Card House, Houston.
Raise to 150.
Now this is pretty cool. I mean, I wouldn't put it past this gentleman, Larry Way Out One, in the chat to just completely make this up on us, because why not? But at the same time, says that he stored the lab equipment for Fringe in between seasons. The chemical company he worked for originally supplied it. I mean, I'm going to go out and say that this is far too cool to make up, so that's awesome. Like, that is a pretty cool little story. And yeah, I mean, these are the sorts of things that you never really know, like the stuff that goes on behind the scenes. When they shoot, you know, they shoot a scene in like some little sleepy village someplace or at a gas station in the middle of nowhere. It's like, that's a real place. And the people that were there know that it got filmed there, and that's kind of cool. But everybody else is like, I don't know, it was just a gas station in the middle of nowhere. But pretty cool stuff, man. Awesome. Thanks for sharing, Larry.
First aces sighting of the night, if I remember correctly. Rich Mike going limp for 100.
That's right. I think that's right. Miguel's going to try to crack him with a pair of 8s in the hole. And RV Phil, Lex O calls for him as he's
nut
doing
low.
texting.
Unbelievable. 4 ways. Shorshi with the 7 Dewey. I guess he was in the straddle.
Yeah.
Wheel draw for RV Phil. Backdoor nut clubs.
Yeah, and honestly, not the scariest board if you're Miguel either. Does have to call with players behind, but yeah, he's going to do it. RV Phil going to come along in Shorshi.
Now the aces have no clue where they're at.
I mean, honestly, this is such a dry, disconnected board that... Okay, so maybe not the dry is the best word to describe this, but disconnected. Oh, my goodness. Bridge Mike gives the free river card. It doesn't bite him. But yeah, I would feel like this is actually a really good spot where your opponents are just going to have a lot of 1-pair holdings and draws and this is just a bet spot for me if I'm Bridge Mike. But he does give the free river, goes for the value on the end, and with no improvement, his opponents are going nowhere. Or, I mean, are going everywhere, but there. Words are hard.
Words are hard.
Oh, man.
The president of Words Are Hards in the booth tonight.
That's right.
On full display.
True to form.
Yeah, Bridge Mike is probably pretty grateful to be winning that one once he rewatches the stream. Giving the free card on turn, scooping a nice $2,600 pot. And that's how every ace's hand is supposed to go.
You win?
You win.
Yeah. Certainly does feel that way. You look down at aces pre-flop, and you're like, I'm going to win this hand, you know?
I deserve to win this hand.
Yeah, this is the one.
And that's what makes it so much worse when you get them cracked. Because there's that, it's that whole mental game of poker thing.
Yeah. Which I mean is obviously exactly the reason why so many people, especially in the lower stakes like 1-2, etc., you know, it'll be like 1-2, the normal open is to like 10 or something, and they'll just like open to 50. And everybody folds and they turn them over, and it's like, I didn't lose with them, you know, because they got burnt that one time, and by golly, I'm not going to lose with them again, even if it means that I win $3.
I only had a plan.
Very interesting spot here between Lexo and Shorshi. Shorshi in here with just 2 random cards going for the big re-raise pre-flop. Lexo flopping best, and Shorshi just hoping to get one through by c-betting this ace-high board. But when Lexo can continue on ace-7 deuce, 2-tone, yeah, I suspect he'll know the jig is up and shut this one down, as he has a full-blown 0 equity bluff. And as I say that, of course, I'm wrong. So he'll fire this again for 1,400. And I mean, if you're Lexo, you don't love this, right? Like, you lose to ace-king for sure. Ace-10, a possibility as well. Pocket aces, always real, even though there's only one combo of it. But, yeah, ace-queen can't be going and folding this hand.
Quiet table now. The turns have tabled. And Lexo really in the tank. Top pair, pretty good kicker, facing a $1,400 bet.
Yeah, I think this is just one of those spots where he wants to make it seem like he's a little bit unsure of himself, you know, like, you know, I can definitely be calling with some, you know, pair plus flush draws or something like that here, where I'm thinking of, like, am I getting the right price to call?
Sure, she's given Rip It vibes. I mean, he does not want to check back and just roll over with 9 high.
Yeah, he has all of the ace-kings. Lexo should not have very many of them. And given that fact, Lexo
Instant
is,
call.
Yeah, he's capped at ace-queen. This is the best hand he can ever have, so he snap calls as he has to. And Shorshi here.
$1,000 pot, and Shorshi even showing the world the 9-4 face up.
Good hand, Lex.
Just saying.
Dang, Lex now winning about 11,000. Got caught.
I assumed it was aces when earlier you were like, come on, pancakes.
We just ordered pancakes.
Yeah, one of those spots, I mean, you just get caught speeding every once in a while, and it sucks when your opponent's just at top of range and you didn't have a chance, right? Like, at least if you went for a spot and you put them in the blender and they still make the call with, you know, ace-8 there or something where they just, you know, they really had to dig deep to make the call. You just hate to get snapped off when you decide that this is the time to go for it with your 9-4-0. Like,
At least validate my game in that I made you make a hard decision.
Yeah.
Stop, don't call so quickly.
Yeah.
Now it feels like they read your soul.
And fold. We got heads up action here.
Heads up here between Shorshi, fresh off of the beatdown. Paolo in there with the 7-6 suited and flop second pair in the best hand. Over card here for Shorshi, but he's not going to rep it. Quick check over. And we're going to get a free 9 of clubs here on the end. Shorshi here should just be getting a showdown with his ace high. Paolo feeling similarly with the pair of sixes, and he'll drag the 665 in the middle.
First pot in a while for Paolo. It's 20,000 in the stack. Now let's play a 20K plus pot. We've got about a 15K. We've got the stacks to do it now. Mr. Delivery and Lex O both with close to 20,000. Same with Paolo.
What, the stream?
Yeah.
A little bit later than
What's the biggest pot you've ever lost?
Much later.
No, probably like 15
Oh,
minutes.
that one is, that's a good question. Biggest
I
pot I've-
genuinely couldn't tell you. I mean,
Yeah, honestly, I probably have blanked out more of the big pots that I've lost than the big ones that I've won. Of course, the big one that I won was like far and away the biggest that I've won.
I don't think it's
I
gonna happen,
think
man.
probably the
To be
biggest pot I've
honest.
lost was like probably 8 or
to
something.
go crazy.
Not
Yeah.
nothing too crazy.
Check, check, and check.
that would still be
But like
pretty
got
painful.
stacked when I had like 3-4K to start the hand. Yeah, that sounds right.
300.
Holding like the wildest hands.
Aces and sevens for Paolo.
Meaning,
Open in a straight draw for RV Phil.
That much.
Blank on river.
Heads up action.
Kings was pretty crazy.
Paolo, make your hand, bet your hand, brah.
Yeah.
Half pot inbound.
600.
Two
Just
pots
been
in a row for
informed
Paolo.
that the Deuce to 7 crew had Indian food delivered, and I'm getting a plate delivered to me back here.
Oh, nice.
Boy.
Perks. Wish I got that kind of treatment in the Dallas booth.
More riders. Put more riders on the
Contract to serve up to David.
no live stream, no.
He is not going to be pleased, but
Everything's in a closed circuit.
cost of being a superstar, having a superstar on staff.
I feel like it would be kind of a leading.
Yeah, that's, well, I mean, that's a Wednesday perk is really what that is, because we always chip in, everybody chips in, and somebody, orders something.
Outside money.
We've had some really good Indian food. We had some really good homemade Bangladeshi food last time.
Okay.
It was amazing. So, yeah, just, I mean, whenever you have like a game that you curate, you sort of put it together with people that you know are good, you get to experience that side of the game, which is the camaraderie and the community. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, because it takes effort to get a non-standard game going with a full table. Same with like the mixed game up here. They've been running 20-40 mix up. It takes a little bit of, takes someone owning it for it to happen. It doesn't just happen organically.
Yeah, for sure.
The first day he was there, he said, I can play with you guys, I'm going to win every single day. I don't want anyone to think I'm
Shorshi turning a straight. Miguel top pair.
play, I won't.
What'd they say?
4 spades.
They play for money.
Miguel turning his hand into a bluff.
Check, bet of 500.
What a legend.
Call 500.
500 and a call. Shorshi's going to be very pleased.
10. Pair of tens. He's got the queen eights. He's got a straight through.
Yeah, quick call there. He's like, no, I got a straight. I can't fold this. And takes down a nice little $1,900 pot there. That's got to feel real good after the bluff gone wrong earlier, just a few hands ago.
Oh, thank you.
Might have been from the pot.
Just for being such a nice guy.
And Miguel there, after starting up nearly 10K,
It's like
sorry,
what's that? Who was the NBA player that literally would walk down the court, tell the opposition, hey,
Yeah,
I'm
Miguel
gonna
was
go
winning
here,
about
I'm
10,000
gonna
at the
do
beginning
this,
of the
move
night.
on,
Now,
I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna get a bucket.
Wasn't that the greatest?
Miguel with ace king of diamonds.
And he would just do it.
Limping in the low jack.
Raise to 200. Full.
Lexo's going to pop it. Jack H suited.
full-service operation over
Man,
here.
that is nice.
Got a plate of food delivered, as well as a fresh Topo Chico. So, living the life over here.
Man, y'all are really setting the bar. I'm starting to really question my setup here.
Oh man, one for my homies. I just poured some topo on the floor for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Miguel, top. Lexa really running into it. Queen of clubs on turn. Lexa might be giving up. Miguel checking again, which may induce Lex sitting there with just jack high, but he's also seeing Miguel call everything down.
I still feel guilty over that. Super close. It made you bluff off your money.
Miguel taking down another one. $840.
I read your thing after you wrote mine.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah, now falling from grace a bit, only being up 2,000, up about 10.
Hey, it's only, I mean,
Lexo taking the top spot at 10.5.
Next time you see me on the streets, you'll spit on me.
I'll rub yours if you rub mine.
Here we go again.
Alright, we got the 50
Too little
on.
body here for that thing.
Miguel limping ace-6 off. Here we go.
Call the 50. Fold, fold.
Fold,
Fold, fold. Sorry, I'm stuck in the neck.
fold,
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 fold.
call the 50.
Wow.
I'm just gonna give you a headset, Mike.
There you go.
Call the 50.
That's
and
not
we'll
loud,
check.
Mike. I feel like I lost control of myself for a second. I don't know what came over me.
He's poisoning minds, I tell you.
Oh, Paolo here with the Robbie,
And check.
flopping the best of it.
You want to check? Alright, check.
Everybody has a little piece of the equity here on the turn. Bet is 75 and calls around, but Mr. Delivery out of the way, and now
100 you a quarter.
top trips no kicker for Paolo.
Yeah, it was definitely.
150.
I only feel bad about
Half
the
pot
last
here on the
one.
end. Miguel makes the call with just ace high, thinking that his opponent could be up to no good. Missed flush draw, missed straight draw, things of that nature. Don't actually hate the call there at all.
Everyone else looks like they are.
Well, the hands that Miguel is going to show up with there on the end, ace high,
I've seen you smile
going to be
once.
pretty good.
You're
Just not this
Yeah,
time.
when you have kings against queens, life is good. You know, life is good. Smile during the month. Miguel, your shadow, your shadow.
There we go.
Oh, a little juice.
Alright, we're starting off for 75.
Little juice.
I like it.
Juicy juice.
We got the 5, 10, 25, 75, fold, fold, fold. Fold,
Classic game.
fold.
Average 68 points.
Raise and I make 250.
That's not very good.
Fold.
Nope. You don't win many games. It's your defensive score.
All right, suited Broadway cards here for Paolo and Mr. M.
Raise to 825. Fold.
And rather than just take off a flop from the big straddle, Paolo here going to make it 8 1/4 to go. Back over to Mr. M. Playing out of the small blind, so a little bit of a tricky position, but does have a beautiful hand in the Jack-10 of diamonds, so he will make the call.
Check.
Not the flop Mr. M had in mind. Paolo here with the top pair,
I don't think he's quite as
but no spade to speak of.
Like,
Pretty good spot to go for the small continue.
I hope he's here today. When are you getting stuck?
And he will. A little over 1/3.
No. We're not doing
How
that.
did Vegas go?
Very good.
In
Yeah,
poker endeavors.
that's going to do it there for Mr. M.
You play table games?
No. I didn't touch a single table game. I bet a lot of sports, though.
It's always funny when somebody asks someone, hey, how did Vegas go? And they say, very good. It's so hard to believe.
Online and in person. Since I was
It
in
is
Vegas,
tough when a Vegas trip goes
a
well.
little more than usual.
It's unusual.
Right.
Bellagio,
50's on.
usually.
Do you stay at the bar?
I've had a past that has given me a lot of reward points.
All right, did you catch all that?
Come on,
So
pancakes.
until those are gone, I will be staying at the Bellagio.
Fold.
I.e., I lost a ton of
It
money
is a
at
nice
table
place to
games
stay, I agree.
in the past life.
So do you
Raise
eat,
to
what's
250.
prime?
$200 straddles on. Safine raised to 650 with queen
Prime
10
I think
off.
I'm like
House, the Bellagio.
16.
Unbelievable.
The steakhouse there is really top.
Yellow, is it called Yellowtail?
I'll have to check it out next time I'm there.
Bellagio's
What
not
is that other
cheap.
place, Yellowtail?
There's so much great food in Vegas. Even off the
Fold at
strip,
650.
in like the Chinatown there,
Call
the
650
super great
fold.
Asian food.
I have a place there.
Let's go.
They have the best Korean.
Let's go to the
place
streets,
there.
baby, to the streets.
Mothers.
Oh, mother. I know of another one.
5-3 suited for Miguel.
Valley.
Second pair of fiends.
Upstairs.
Be an opportunity to go to Value Town. We shall see.
I poisoned his mind the other day.
I love all Asian food. I'm an Asian food guy.
Sushi fever next time you're there.
Check.
It's unbelievable.
Before I put the one.
King of Hearts. Problem I draw
I'll
for
ask you again
Safine.
after the stream so I can write it down on my phone. Asian food, Korean barbecue is my favorite food.
Rich Mike said he's
I
got a
eat,
place in
like
Vegas.
once
Must
or
be
twice
nice.
a week. They have great fun. Man.
7 on the end. Safine with the best of it.
There's shoyo. Have you heard of shoyo?
Safine missed at least one
Shoyo
bet.
is supposed to be the top.
Yeah, Miguel's played this 5-3 a couple of times,
Such in demand.
and it worked out for him the
But you
first
have
couple
to
of
check at the beginning of
opportunities.
every
This
month
time, not so much with
9
just
a.m.
the bottom
Would you
pair.
have-
Website to try to get a reservation for that month.
I'll give you the name of another sushi place in Vegas.
Good fold, Phil.
They have
Good
2
fold.
seatings a night. You have to book it like 6 weeks in advance.
2 seatings at night.
Yeah.
Place where the chef does everything in front of you.
Yeah, the food in Vegas is an experience.
You know, I've been
I
Vegas
always,
a lot.
like, if you go to Vegas to
Come
play
believe it's a
poker,
little overrated.
food is such a struggle, which isn't like an actual struggle, but it's just you end up eating weird, like weird times,
A
weird
lot of the good
freaking.
places.
If you're trying to play poker a ton, it's not exactly.
The only place I really like is
It's not great times to take a break and like eat a real meal.
Wei Ling. It's a restaurant.
Or at least that's been my
at the
experience.
Encore.
Just always end up eating
Chinese
freaking
restaurant.
No, but like we're talking about off the strip.
protein bars and Subway,
Yeah.
Oh,
whatever
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like.
sure. Okay, I'm talking
Okay.
Like off the
Quick and not a
springs.
Yeah,
line.
okay, maybe those are good. Perhaps.
Yeah, I feel like
I mean, there's really,
it really
really good
depends on if you're going there for
high level, you're gonna drop a
tournaments
lot
and
of
you
money
just
restaurants
don't
on
have
the
a ton of
strip.
time
Exactly.
But you can
available
find
Yeah.
outside of the
take really
tournament.
good Asian food
It
off
can
the strip.
really kind of force you into that, like go into those stupid little like cafeteria type things where you're just like grabbing a hot dog or a pre-made sandwich or something.
An $18 hot dog like at the World Series.
That is pretty awful.
Really?
But if you go there and you're like playing cash and you know you space out your tournaments to where you've got like a day or two off or something, like oh man, it's amazing the kind of food that you can find. You know, like they're talking about going a little bit off the strip or
Sorry, I bet at 250.
excuse me, Chinatown, something like that. Like you can find all kinds of cool stuff.
What the?
All you can eat sushi, like oh,
It's outside.
Vegas has it all.
Yeah, I've yet to have an like tourist Vegas experience. It's always been
I've
like
been to Vegas in like 3 weeks, so I will.
because I mean, for me, I only get to go maybe once a year to play cards, and so it's just like, all right, I'm here to play cards. I'm gonna try to get as much cards in as possible. Haven't been able to really like go
I know. That's why
try some of those really famous places. There's that one like super mob boss Italian place off the strip that everybody goes to.
I haven't been to
But
that.
have you been to Lotus at Siam?
But really want to try.
It sounds very familiar.
That's way off the strip. That's
There's
an
just so
industrial.
many.
That's the most famous.
There's some really good dim sum also, like by the Golden
Adding
Nugget.
on 5K and
Or not by the Golden, but by the ones that like.
I had some really good
I don't
food at
even know if
Resorts
it's
World.
off the strip, too.
It's folded right.
Yeah, this is more like at RS Actuary. So just got back from Vegas and it was ugly. Yeah, it's generally that
Just for you.
that quiet, lonely flight home on Spirit in the middle of the night with an empty pocket.
Yeah, and not only did you already have pretty much empty pockets, but while you were sitting there waiting for your flight at the airport, you were like, I don't know, maybe one last chance on this
Yeah,
1
Ocean's
mil
11, let's do this.
this jackpot. Yeah, and the machine just ate every dollar you put into it and keep nothing back because it's an airport slot. Yeah, that's our life.
You took a cash advance on your credit card at the airport ATM to put money in the slot machine, and of course, didn't give you one pop.
Exactly, they didn't used to, but they are.
Dude, I've even used my Bellagio chips at the Venetian before.
Really?
All right, 2 pair here for Miguel on the turn. Pretty much a hammer lock on this, barring a river 8 or 7. But unlikely that we're even going to get there, as Miguel is going to put in the raise right now. Basically a
because they want that money. You know
Exactly.
What I mean?
They're not going to be like, oh, no.
They assume you're
Oh,
going to lose
650,
it.
okay.
It's like, we'll do whatever we have to accommodate this transaction.
Exactly.
A couple of quick folds, and Miguel's going to take this one down. He'll show the ace.
Yeah. From cash games? That's surprising. Yeah.
This Indian food is fire, by the way, so
What do you have?
while I continue to nom.
Sure.
Interesting.
Love a samosa. I'm not sure if that's how you say it, but samosa's so good. Yeah, I crack aces, YouTube chat. Don't have to go to Vegas to be broke. Plenty of opportunities here. Very good point. Very good point. But the dream is there.
50 is on, raise to 1.
While steady state broke
Yeah.
is always here. Safine to kings.
Just check.
Yeah,
That's 150 Bellagio points.
How sick of a line would that be when you...
50 full.
Shorshi 2 10s.
Full.
After Miguel called with the 9-6 ball.
Here, I'm gonna show you what I have. When I ask races, this is what I get.
You don't have to.
It's just so tilting.
Better.
And kings with the king of hearts feels like a pretty good flop. Miguel with top pair and the 9 of hearts could be in a world of trouble. Safine checking. I guess he's got the whole board, and now he turns even more of the board. Top set. The king high heart draw. What a turn card. Eventually you got to bet at some point.
About a 425.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of pot control makes sense for sure on that flop. As you have so many opponents just calling that a lot of opportunities for your opponents to have stuff. And geez, this is the third time.
Like third clean pair of quads, pair in the hole, pair on the board.
Pair
This
of quads.
is nuts. What did I say?
You said our third clean pair of quads.
Pair of quads.
Miguel.
Snap call by Miguel.
What the fuck?
They showed all of them the hand too. The first king comes and the second king comes.
Given what we talked about, that's really, really funny.
So it was him, me, and I. We skipped you.
Bet at 1200, snap call by Miguel, and understandably so. I mean,
I was like, no shot.
that's probably a pretty good hand there. 9-6 with the 9 of hearts. Miguel, after starting the
Dude,
stream off
even
up
I almost
10K,
broke a
is now
smile
stuck
there for a second. I was
$300.
like, no shot at
I
it.
hate to see it.
The fall from grace. No, but still hanging. He's got 5K in his stack.
Right.
Why'd you drop me into that, man?
That was so weird. Crazy.
Why'd you drop me into that?
Fold. 50 to play.
Oh,
Rich,
2
my first sorry to
5s.
say skipped you.
Story of my life.
Tens, I want quad 10.
Miguel's got to be close to 90%.
Never aces.
I can't.
Right?
It's impossible for me to ever flop quads.
One time. Unless you folded. You did fold quads, did you?
It's impossible I can ever have quads because I don't get pocket pairs.
Shorshi in nice ace-3 suited. Facing some dead money. He might, yeah, three bets it to 900.
I'm sure you get uses. That's very easy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and this just puts everybody into a tough spot, which is
3 times the stream.
the benefit of squeezing, especially with a hand such as this from the blind when you see the bet and all the calls behind. Just a trail of dead money. But usually you can get it through the first player and everybody folds, but you don't get it through the first player, and yeah, you end up with a situation like this where even Miguel is going to come along for the ride.
Middle set for Paolo. $3,000 pot. Shorshi got a little life with the wheel draw.
Yeah, and this is definitely like his board, right? So like gonna have a lot of ace king that no one else can have. So he gets to just sort of fire away at this indiscriminately. We've seen him already barrel away with the 9-4 from before. This time he actually has some equity. 8 of spades is not it. And this is now starting to look a little bit ugly.
Out of position.
He's gonna shut it down.
4,700 in the middle. Now Paolo's got a decision to make.
Yeah, the danger is betting and getting raised, but at the same time, you would love to just bet and either, have your opponent fold now or call and check to you on the river so that you can just check it down. So there you go. A little bet and a win. Nice pickup there for Paolo. Up to 24K in his stack, and that's going to be the biggest stack at the table. Paolo here up just 855 bucks, but covering the entire table.
Yeah, it's kind of a slow start, but now things are picking up for Paolo. Opposite for Miguel.
So the last time we played, remember the last time we played, you sat on my left?
Yes.
I made like 3 tough letdown. I looked at the stream, you had 8, 12.
Did I?
So I think I can have 5.
Oh, straddle.
I know for one. For sure, I remember.
And we got the straddle on for 50.
$50 straddle. 5-10 and a quarter. No limit hold'em is what we're playing tonight. Wednesday night, Miguel, very tempting ace-5 suited. Calls 50, RV Phil. Naturally in the cutoff is going to raise to 325 with 9-7. Mr. M gets out of the way against 2 unpredictable players. Heads up once again between Miguel and RV Phil.
I have no idea. I mean, he said ace queen.
Oh, come on.
Straight draw for RV Phil. Ace high for Miguel.
What did he call it?
Ace queen, yeah. What is it? Why would he lie?
Is Paolo incredulous?
Why would he
Miguel
lie?
drills an ace.
Okay, like,
RV Phil representing the ace, betting 600.
too nice of a person. Why would you ever lie about that?
And a 10. Wow. RV Phil drills a gutter ball straight. And if he's been paying attention, he should price this pretty juicy, given that Miguel is willing to call with a lot.
About the hand where you had quad?
Yeah, I mean, with 2K in the middle, I think you could just go full pot here.
You're going to be surprised I'm taking
What a
Expect
river
to get
card.
called a good chunk of the time.
Yes, I had
Oh, he's going
but
to
he
go
goes
for it
double
all,
that.
though.
Sure, that's what he got.
Pretty sure
He
Big
wants all of
overbet here,
Miguel's skin.
Miguel. I don't know, when you take a guy that is willing to pay you with a bunch of different hands and then put him in a spot where it's like now it's for everything. Oh yeah, I think that's misvalue for sure. I'm not sure if Miguel calls 2K, but I feel like 2K is around the price point.
Yeah.
But when you go for all 4 of it, it just reeks a little bit of too strong a value. Mr. Delivery not able to make any traction here. Got down 10K pretty big after that big call down earlier.
He only tries to bluff it.
Has matched up though. Just added on some more chips, now in for 23 now.
Yes,
Or rather has 23 on the table.
Shorshi, king, queen.
Raise to 150.
On the button.
Fold, fold. Thanks, Rick. Fold. Thank you. We got it.
Raise and take it.
I'll just do it for you in case you forgot.
so effective.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah, multiple 20K plus stacks. Just need one cooler. One big cooler. For a 20K plus pot. Let's do it.
Alright, we got the 50 on.
Pancakes.
Come on, pancakes.
Banana pancakes.
Banana pancakes. That's delicious.
So,
Raise to 150.
it's a song, right?
It is a song.
Jack Johnson.
Sean, yeah?
Jack Johnson.
Jack
Jack
Johnson,
Johnson.
that's right.
Small raise here from Phil, with Miguel calling up front.
Very, very generic music.
But with all of these raggy cards in between,
But it's trendy.
just Mr. Delivery going to make the call back over to Miguel. He'll complete as well. And we'll go 3 players to a flop.
That's pretty accurate.
Like 09, 2010.
I lived in
Somehow,
Australia for a
RV
year
Phil
in
did not flop
2011,
quad, so they
and
might still be
that
running
time
out
it was
on the turn and river,
very
though.
trendy that time, so.
Check. Check.
It all makes sense.
Lex O just housed an entire
We'll just took Australia a little
package of icebreakers, mints, whatever those were.
Make it 1,000.
Never seen people eat them like that.
I missed it. Icebreakers, like in that little
Oh.
round container or something?
Yeah, that whole container of mints was freaking chugging them.
Wow. That is
It might
next
have
level.
been it might have been close to empty, but
Yeah, let's give him the benefit of the doubt that he was shaking the last one out of there, not just like smashed
40
down 8 of
minutes.
them at once. I think that like overpowers any like human being in terms of mintiness. Check bet and a check raise there from Miguel with the full-blown nothing burger. Not even blockers to some sort of straight or anything. And he gives it up after RV Phil makes the call. And yeah, RV Phil's like, you're either bluffing or somehow just have a trapped, nasty hand. I'm just going to show down the jacks and win the pot. And Miguel here, the fall from Grace is nearly complete.
yeah,
Just
feels we've
2.7
seen
K.
this story plenty of
I
times.
appreciate you. Thank you.
Doesn't feel like good vibes for Miguel's stack unless he can recreate his first hour run.
I love it. Let's do it.
Final hour of the stream. We made it.
Charlie did that the other
Vin
night
K and
with Dong.
Aaron McAvoy with you.
If I
Live
double
from
through Dong, I'm gonna tip you 500.
TCH Dallas and
He fucking
TCH
did.
Austin.
Oh my
Austin
And he
respectively.
fucking did.
Thank you for joining us. Thanks for hitting that like button, subscribing,
Gina
commenting in the live chat, or commenting
did, and he
down below if you're watching the stream at a later date. Appreciate everyone
400.
joining us tonight,
400 now.
sticking with us
Fold, fold.
over these last 3 hours. 1 hour to go, 1 hour to have our 20 to 30K pot. Plenty of time. Stick with us. Stakes continue to rise as Paolo, I think, is 4-betting with King 9 suited for the first time tonight. Maybe this is a 3.
God, I want to make such a bad fucking call.
done it before. Come on.
I know.
Show the
I
9.
was- Ooh, button good.
JJ.
What is that?
JJ7.
Oh, good. No, I already moved it.
Okay, thank you. You have ace jack?
I did. Yeah, I would give you like 10 guesses in my hand. You would not get anywhere near it.
More shout out to
Nope. Okay, come on.
TCH Houston.
Yes.
Pancakes.
Okay, not as bad as
Brand
yours.
new poker room
Those
open
connected pancakes.
in the Houston area, and a full schedule of tournaments. Thursday PLO, Friday $20
That
rebuy,
would have been fun.
all the way into
Not on
Saturday
that
and
flop,
Sunday with a $300 10K guarantee. Get all the info at texascardhouse.com/Houston.
That one 24-hour session we played, where in the end Dong was only screaming, "Monkey! I need monkey!"
What a day that was.
Oh yeah, that was
What a
fun.
day.
24-hour session.
Raise, make it 550.
24 hours and 25
Can't say I've ever done that.
Fold.
No, neither have I, and I don't really have any interest in it. I have done a couple of 12-hour plus sessions, which,
Yeah.
as a poker player, you know, people will be like, yeah, of course you have.
Wow.
But, like,
Jack.
I just have no interest, nor probably the stamina to do a 24-hour session. And honestly, like the 13-hour sessions or whatever that I've done, I didn't really
Never
feel
feel
that
great.
good afterwards. Like, it was not a great time.
I
Like,
mean,
it
if
was a
I was
great
to stay up
time,
all,
but it wasn't.
that would ruin my week. I think if I stayed up for 24 hours, I'm not feeling the same. I'm not feeling back to normal for like 5 days, I think.
Sound good.
I mean, you need some assistance. You need some, like, chemical assistance to do that. You still have your wits about you, I guess.
Fold, fold, fold.
Which I know plenty of poker players do.
Raise, make it now 350.
Or if you fill with the kings. 3-bet
Yeah,
over, Safine's open.
I can confidently say that my longest sessions have always involved a fairly copious amount of alcoholic beverages.
Raise now.
And that's when you're always playing at your peak.
Exactly.
10 to 12 hours in with some alcohol. Brain's at tip-top shape. So Safine's going to 4-bet to 1,000 with Jack-10 off. This is running into it. Miguel taking his time. And RV Phil, is there a 5-bet? No, just a call.
Yeah, these two players quite deep. Stack to pot ratio here over 6.
God.
And a very clean flop here for RV Phil. Safine, who just a few moments ago wanted to make sort of a donkey call with the 6-3 suited, might just be feeling like he needs to just kind of take charge of some of these spots. And this is an opportunity.
Click it.
700, and yeah, quick check raise here from RV Phil. As you say, just a min click. And this feels super gross if you're Safine, but I don't know. Your hand just has no chances of improving.
Yeah, Safine doesn't want to get owned, but there's just so, I don't know. It's very unlikely that RV Phil is just owning his soul here with this lead in a 4-bet pot.
Yeah, I mean, how many times have you seen just like a really weird line that didn't make any sense, but it was from the player that, until that moment, had generally played pretty straightforwardly? Like, you're like, what the hell can this possibly be? And it's really hard to pinpoint it down, but honestly, you just kind of have to take your hands off the wheel and be like, whatever it is, it's better than what I have. You know,
Right.
like it's just, that is weird, but it's good. And just walk away. Now, you see someone like Mr. Delivery or JD or somebody, you know, hit you with a kind of off-the-wall line. You got to think it through maybe a little bit more and be like, is a 3-bet on this flop actually going to work? Because they know that I know that I, you know, and you can kind of level into it. But I think RV Phil here has, generally speaking, played his hands, you know, sort of straightforwardly. And check raises you there, I think. It's just always value. All right, 10-10, 5-4 now here on the turn. RV Phil with the best hand, and he's going to take a little stab at this for 1 1/4. This is a pretty speculative call from Lex O. Definitely setting himself up for a bluff on the end, but with players behind. It was yeah, a little bit spicy. Much prefer to have a club in hand if I were to float there as Lex O if you were going to try to raise some rivers, but RV Phil is just going to bet again, targeting a 5 and no takers.
Will it make it? It's the over-under.
Yeah, Safine here, stuck 8K, trying to get some things working in his favor, and then
sometimes
go in
the carrot doesn't dangle enough, you know?
It's just not meant to be.
It's not meant to be. I've been doing the 50.
Max, do it. All right, we got the 100 on.
RV Phil actually leading the way for raise first in.
Fold, fold, fold. Call that. Call, fold.
No raising here so far. A couple of limps. Now Shorshi here going to squeeze this up from the straddle. 500 to go with ace king suited, and Is Miguel going to put it all in? He is. Ace-8 offsuit, good enough for the last 2.5K.
Good luck.
Going to try to get it all back in one fell swoop, and RV Phil, the 6 deuce of diamonds, is going to posture for a moment before he folds.
I've never heard of
Now here we go. Miguel going to need to spike an 8 or some sort of disgusting 4-card straight / flush.
Yes, sir.
What a pretty hand. God, so nice to look at.
Okay.
Running it twice. 8 of spades here on the turn is going to win Miguel the first run out.
What's that?
A couple of spades off the board here for Shorshi as well. It's another 8 for Miguel. Miguel now just needs to fade a king or a spade, and he does. He's going to win both boards. Ripping the ace-8-0 pre-flop for 2,500. Shorshi gets it in just about as good as you can, and loses 2 run-outs.
Yeah, that's sick, huh? That's sick draw on both.
Wow.
That is.
Jeez.
And if you're Shorshi, who has already had a little bit of a rough go of it here this evening, you're kind of rolling your eyes like,
Right.
what on earth is happening? How do I not get that one? Even halfway through.
Even turning spades both times.
Yeah, with that, Shorshi taking another hit, moving a little bit further down into the hole, 6.4K down. Bridge Mike here now, up a couple trips to CJ's.
Big game Phil Homie fan.
Is that what it is?
No, the Kings versus Ace-9. Homie dropped trip 9s. They run it 4 times to get the other guy, the loose cannon.
3 out of 4. Yeah.
Ace king for Mr. M.
That's
Kings twice and a straight.
Buck and a quarter.
that's one for the.
No, that's the RFID.
Phil won the first
Yeah,
one,
that way,
too.
so it registers when it's on
The guy won the last 3.
Is that on me? Shit, sorry.
It is, I'm sorry.
Everyone's cheering.
Oh, yeah.
$125.
Paolo's going to come back to the ace-10 off and just fold this one from
Night on Joe Hatchet.
sort of early middle position.
Money in the quad
Okay.
against Bruce Cannon.
Raise 275. Oh, sorry about that. 8
But
o'clock.
RV Phil here going to squeeze the red 5s on the button for a very small size as well, so not quite a squeeze as much as a pot builder type of situation. And these are awkward because, like, your hand would love to just see a flop, and instead you've reopened the betting for virtually nothing. And Mr. M now gets to go for the
800.
Raise to
Yeah.
825. Fold.
Now you're having
delivery. He's like, come on, man, why didn't you just call? Just see a flop. And now RV's asking himself the same thing. He's like, oh, no.
Oh, I
What
could
did
have
do?
set mine on the best position for. All right, here we go. 1,800 in the middle. And it comes top, Mr. M.
Yeah, clean flop here. RV Phil really shouldn't have anything on this board aside from maybe something like your odd queen 10 suited, something, you know, like to really be that concerned about. Mr. M feels so confident.
And it comes a 5. It comes check on flop, and the 5 comes on the turn. Wow. Oh, no.
RV Phil goes from basement to penthouse. Mr. M gonna bet 1/3 pot now, and let's see how RV Phil plays this one after turning the set. Like, this is just amazing. Mr. M did check the flop, so maybe you don't give him credit for that big of a hand. And you don't want to raise too big or even raise at all, but you got to build this pot at some point.
Yeah.
He does just make the call, though, and 10 now. Ace, queen, queen 9, make a straight. Obviously, it's a little bit hard to put your opponent on those holdings, given the fact that they didn't bet the flop, but I mean, Mr. M here, I think he can just go for like half pot, 1/3. Yeah, he's just going to go for this small value bet, try to get paid by a jack. And Instead, he's going to get hit with a raise on the end, I suspect, from RV Phil, and then just really wonder, like, did I just check back the flop and cost myself this pot? I guess not check back as much as just check out of position on the flop, but yeah, tiny little raise, 2,500. Oh my God, Omega value, but
Just
Mr.
calls.
M snaps it off.
Let him get there. Hate to say it, but sometimes I don't know.
Turning a
I
set,
like the
man.
thought of not being
Best way to
predictable, where
do
you
it.
just raise pre and c-bet all flops that have Broadway type boards. But in this instance, that really bit him.
Get him in here.
Yeah, I think, I mean, I can only presume that that was Mr. M recognizing that he had the lion's share of the equity like he did, and that his opponent was probably just drawing super, super thin like he was.
Yeah.
That most of the time you can give him that free turn, it's not going to hurt you.
Right.
And then you try to convince them later on that they, you know, their sort of middling strength hand might have enough value to pay you off. Whereas if you just bet the flop and they fold, like, you get no value. So I mean, the logic is sound, but man, when it does bite you like that, it just feels like, oh, why did I do that?
Dang, it's been like a Fibonacci sequence. It's been like,
Oh, yeah.
here, it's going to be Paolo next.
Oh, yeah. And then me again.
I love it when you talk dirty.
Rich Mike down to a single trip to CJ's
You heard right.
More of a Taco Bell trip now.
Yeah, that's eating for two at Taco Bell by my standards.
I don't
But
even
you know,
remember what we talked about.
prices have gone up. That's for sure.
Inflation, it'll get you.
Inflation at the Taco Bell drive-through, man. Yeah.
Always pick buffer, right? So you always pick measure tips.
Most nights I pick
It's pretty wild, like, inflation at the rate that it has been. Of course, I don't want to go down this rabbit hole too far, but, like, to see prices change at a very dramatically, like, recognizable rate over a short period of time like we've had has been just very different. Whereas, like, it used to be like, back when I was a kid, I remember getting that for $1, and now it's $2 or whatever. It's like, no, that shit happened, like, in the last few years.
Right, like you have very, like, vivid memories of the cost being way less for the same thing. It feels wrong.
My favorite was the grilled stuffed burrito from Taco Bell.
Yeah.
And yeah, we used to get it was just a ground beef grilled stuffed burrito for $2.99, and the thing was like, it was like 8 inches long. It was this big old burrito, like it was a full meal. And then that thing shrunk, and the cost went up, and now it's not even a thing. Like, they just got rid of it.
Man, I haven't been to Taco Bell in forever. It's
nice
usually
to
when
be
I'm at the tail end of these streams that I start thinking about hitting Taco Bell.
Yeah, especially when I'm across the airwaves from you, because I'm always talking about it.
Yeah. It's one of those things that you just know right after you're going to feel terrible, and the next day you're going to feel terrible. But
really? See, I don't know. Whatever I get usually treats me pretty well.
Lex, I don't know why you keep doing that, but it seems a little.
All right, we've got some limping happening here. And yeah, I don't think anybody's going to upset the apple cart here. We're going to go 4 ways to a limped flop. Rich Mike here, well out in front with the ace-9 off on the button, and flops clean.
Check. 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 That's 250. Fold. Fold. We're phoning a friend.
Phil here with just the bottom pair and no real chance at improvement
now we're sticklers for the
outside
rolls.
of his pairing. His one of his 2 cards is thinking about making the call, and does.
Trying to get it. Check. Check. Check.
Still checking.
Check.
Comes running 10s, and RV Phil just keeps checking, and so Bridge Mike is like, all right, I mean, I guess I just have the best hand. I'll bet without even having a kicker and hope that your queen
That's it, Mike.
will perhaps feel inspired to pay me off, but
You
Just
navigated,
like-
you
just like his
navigated that whole
bridge.
no
situation
more money
very
goes in
well.
the middle.
Just like his bridge.
There we go.
Quads.
Quads.
You Out of 5. I had a little bit of it.
I actually just put
So
I put you on
he
pocket.
didn't cheat. He did
I
not tell
pocket.
me to
I put you on pocket
He
fours.
didn't cheat. Well, in that case, that's not a mistake. He gave me no signals to fold or raise or anything.
It's usually pretty low key.
you want to thank all of y'all
I give him
tuning in, hanging out with us this fine evening, Wednesday,
Raise to 100.
for 5, 10, and a quarter, no limit hold'em here on TCH Live.
Raise to 300. Fold, fold, fold.
Small little min-click raise, maybe even just a straddle that didn't quite get registered here from RV Phil. Shorshi will make it a true raise to 300 with the ace-10. Miguel in there
Love it,
with
Miguel.
his 5K stack. RV Phil in there with the 7-6 as well. So 3 players to this 5-5 tray flop.
There you go.
There's a lot of monkeys.
Got a ball and 2 overs. And he drills it. Just like that. 3, 4, 5, 6,
Is
7.
there a term for a non-monkey card?
It would be tough to
I mean, you
get
got 4
paid
sided, 2
given the
sided. I guess
holdings
that's
here,
not-
unless
there's not like an
Shorshi.
umbrella non-monkey.
No. Anything but a monkey.
I say unless Shorshi
No
decides to
monkey,
float him with the ace-10, giving him credit for some draws.
It's like whammy and no whammy.
Yeah.
Alright.
That's a straight.
Not even quads. Oh, jeez. Not even quads.
Yeah, RV Phil doesn't love that river. He's like, oh,
George.
I lose to a bunch of random full houses now.
Thank you very much.
But it's
That's
not
it,
C.
dude.
I'm just not in the zone today.
Nah,
you
dude,
know?
Phil is just a killer, bro. He just comes here, takes your chips.
I asked earlier.
It's hilarious how you can talk about poker for like
So anybody could get it.
3 straight hours in the 10 minutes of
If you want some,
It's,
come get
it's a
it.
smooth
Food
talk and,
discourse.
Like, bang.
Anybody could get it.
Phil,
make people
where's the moonshine tonight?
start to head for the hills,
It is
selling at a
Whoa.
food-focused
Dude,
program.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
It's
No, I
Confirmation
might be a bad
bias.
time, but it's your
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's really more that people just get hungry listening to us, or like we talk about travel and they're like, oh man, I want to go there, you know? But yes, it's poker stream, but we're human beings, you know? Talk
Right.
about all kinds of stuff. Have a good time with it.
Really?
Everyone needs a moonshine.
I've heard about his moonshine too.
This is a fun one that Jedi Master Ted has proposed. Shorshi sells seashells by the seashore.
Yeah.
Shorshi sells seashells by the
It really
seashore.
is. It just sounds epic.
It probably comes because it's like during Prohibition, like you would have
Right,
made it.
Miguel is in here with the 5 tray again, and this time could be working for him. Sure enough, 5 tray is Miguel's hand. He's won 3 out of 4 hands that he's played it with.
Moonshine's like they weren't making it outside. So we're gonna make it outside.
Ragnar, that's right. That's right.
Come on.
Wherever the fuzz is going to come from.
I knew she was going to.
If we really want to derail
He found a jack.
this podcast, I came across a
Sometimes they find the jack, you know?
some YouTube short where this,
Makes it to me.
I would set the line.
assuming he's like
So
claims to be a UFO guy,
there's
expert,
no shot.
and he was talking about
It's not coming.
the how the atom bombs
I might get a chance to make it.
send out some kind of like disturbance
Nope,
Glad
not
this
16.
across the universe,
Paolo has that
and that's
damn
why
Pancakes.
there were so many
Different
reports
looks, yeah, I
of
haven't
like
seen that.
alien and UFO sightings in the 40s and 50s.
Oh, because of our weapons testing, somehow
Yeah, like testing the A-bomb
lured
stuff.
them in or something?
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
with
show
like
everyone here because
sending-
last time I just
It's just an
I
interesting.
got it.
I'm not that type of person to really dwell on that stuff, but I just felt like that was an interesting. I don't know if you call it a conspiracy theory, but I'd never heard that perspective before. It's like,
Yeah.
and it seems like the logic could be, I don't know, like a bomb of that magnitude sending some type of wave or whatever across spectrums in the universe or whatever, and other beings in space coming to check out what was going on or something. I don't know.
Sure. Shorshi here, getting a little bit out of line, has 3 to a straight flush and a gutty. Gonna go for the check raise here, but Sabine at top of range. And this is what Shorshi ran into before, where he went for a line against a player that was just at the top of range. And now Sabine, of course, picking up the backdoor clubs to go with the top is just never going anywhere. And Shorshi is already just like, bro, really? Somebody fold to me.
It's so frustrating. Safine is not going anywhere.
Yeah, I think he can bet or he can just fold. I mean, the benefit that he has with this specific combination is that he can bet and call if he gets check raised for a second time. That's always sort of the thing you have to keep in mind is like, when you get check raised and your opponent checks to you, it's kind of like, can I withstand another check raise? Because really good battling opponents are going to have that in their game. This hand, of course, can withstand that. He is just going to fire in another value bet and hope that his opponent might have had something like King, Queen of Diamonds, feeling really strong about his holding, says, I'm at top of range, let's build a pot for me with some backdoors, and then things just didn't quite go his way, but as it stands, it'll be a check bet and a fold. So, okay, here's what I would say to that idea, which again, I mean, yeah, there's certainly the possibility that there's some sort of like ripple in space-time that goes out from detonating some weapons. But we are so freaking small in the grand scale of things.
That is ridiculous.
Right.
And when you think about just the immensity of our little solar system, like just how big it is, how long it takes for light to travel from our sun to Pluto, right? It takes a really long time for that light to just make it that far. And then we're just this tiny, tiny little solar system floating around in our giant galaxy.
Right.
And like, and then you try to think about like where some other being is that's hanging out there and like looking out for things that are happening in the universe.
Yeah.
Let's go check that out. Like it's just, they're just not going to see that stuff, man. It's on such a small scale.
Right.
And I don't know. I mean, it's interesting, and we can, you know, sort of have fun with it, but at the same time, it's like let's be realistic about things as well.
Dude, space is wild. I can't sit there and think too much about it because it's a big place. Too wild. Like even like my 2-year-old son right now is obsessed with the moon. Like anytime we go outside and the moon's out, he just starts yelling, moon, 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 moon. And just like trying to think of how I'm going to explain what the moon is makes it even more mind-blowing to me. It's like this sphere that is floating in, to our eyes, floating in the air is just there, and it also is in a perfect distance to control our tides.
Exactly.
That, like, it's got this pull. It's just crazy. Space is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, and how it rotates at a perfect rotational velocity, so that one side of it is just like always
Yeah.
towards. I mean, yeah.
It's a family show, so I talk about backdoor.
But this is a poker stream, Aaron. So
That's right. That's right.
4 hours of straight poker and nothing else. Miguel with the 8 high. 4 flush. Over to Mr. Delivery, top pair.
I know, I've talked to
Checks back.
good buddies.
Yeah.
I've got 8 high. I can beat 8 high.
Oh, really? Yeah, he's really nice. Really cool dude. Yeah.
Funny, smart.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool, like the fascination that children have with learning new stuff and teaching them about things that are just like so challenging to wrap your adult mind around, and then you like share it with a kid and they're just like, oh, this is awesome, you know, like dinosaurs from millions of years ago and they were giant and huge, and
Stay ready.
I mean, you know, they just eat that stuff up, you know, same with planets and everything. It's just so cool.
It's definitely made me,
Pancakes.
or it's been helpful for me to slow down and just like appreciate very small things that I take for granted all the time. Like he loves golf balls and
I don't know what it
just
is.
walking
I
around,
called the
picking up
different things
sticks,
myself.
and likes looking at the
I don't
moon,
know
and
what
likes
the appropriate pronunciation.
big trucks, like trash trucks, stuff like that. So I think it's been helpful for me to just have like a shift in perspective where you can kind of slow down and be present in the moment instead of stressing out about life.
He does that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been awesome to see him just like get excited about very basic life things. I think it's
Heck yeah.
a good practice.
Second pair here for Safine, and the best hand. Really not a lot of opportunities for either opponent to improve, but Paolo is the one betting here after Safine checks, and is going to go for the check call. But Paolo just drills the turn, improving to second pair of kings. Now has some showdown value here.
Savage for 1-2.
So he'll check behind. And with another ace here on the end, Safine may feel like he has the best hand. Little block bet or just a check and let Paolo fire off a bluff here.
27, probably.
Couple of options. Safine does not have to face a river bet though. Paolo here playing aces and kings with the queen on board kick in. Not going to try to charge a queen or a 9.
And if they say 34,
Maybe a little bit concerned about his opponent having clubs, but clubs, I don't know. Just happy to get the showdown there and does take the pot away.
Paolo now 2K winner now that he's stacking his $25,000 stack.
This is fine.
A win's a win.
All right, we got the 5, 10, 25, 50 on.
The new player in down? Is that what's happening here? Or no, RV Phil. Standing up.
It should say that I'm like down.
Yeah, I think we had an issue maybe with his microphone, like pack battery going out or something like that. Looks like he was getting something adjusted.
That is hilarious.
Did you forget? I'm in for a big hand.
That's hilarious.
I think I'm at 34.
Okay, you said you through the system they can't sell.
Oh, well, does it say when I'm down? Tell me what the chip is.
Miguel in the cutoff. True to form, calls with the King 8 RV Phil following suit.
I mean, life's good, I guess.
Yeah, of course.
Triggers a bunch of completions. Back over to Safine.
That means you don't know what you came with either.
Bridge Mike just completing the ace queen.
Oh,
And the
man.
straddle.
Such a brilliant squeeze spot.
Yeah. Broadway draw.
But if you know what you came with,
You've added on 2 here.
but if you know what you came with,
Snap checks all the way through.
6-way action.
oddly disorganized.
So with second pair.
I'm not that
Open-ended.
organized of a person. Or just even,
Yeah, and Lex O here, he's got the best hand. He's like, if it checks through, nobody can have a jack, right? So let me just see if I can clear out the field and take this one down.
7.
Called
Shorshi.
in 2 spots, and yeah, Shorshi hits it. 8-9, a pretty natural continue here. Lex O happy to just check and try to get to showdown, but it's nearly full pot, and snap folds. Doesn't even think about it with the queen 10 there.
River's the nuts, and it's kind of tilting when you're stuck. River the nuts, and 2 players insta-fold behind you.
Yikes.
Probably about
Is that what you're
5.
stuck?
I really have no idea how much I'm in for.
I mean, how much is this? 15?
10,000.
20? How?
Mr. Delivery.
No. What?
Oh no. Okay, here's what happened.
You have 1 yellow.
It's not that.
No.
It's not that
It's
I'm
like
in for less
23.
than I thought. It's just I
You have less.
somehow counted.
No, this is like 23.
Can't count. I like that. This is your.
I folded.
You folded?
Gotta love / hate the mid-session inventory where you're like, wait, how much am I in for? Where am I? What's
Right.
going on?
I didn't even know I had this much on me.
You're in
Oh.
for 34 and down.
All right, Miguel on the hijack.
It all makes sense. 34 and down.
Headed to 90% VPIP. Calling 50 with the 9-8.
He said unfortunately. 625 is
After I stack some.
Yeah, and here comes a squeeze. sort of a re-squeeze from Safine.
What are we playing at 10 o'clock?
Miguel calls. Shorshi calls. Why not? All right.
Once the stream ends, my action's online.
You say your actions all yours, you said?
After the stream.
That makes sense.
Sold some pieces? Not to Safina, I know.
Yeah, just no, not to anyone at this table except George.
Interesting.
700.
Just kidding. Does George look like he would buy my action?
Not for this game, no.
Oh, that's so
George is like hit the
hilarious.
There's a board on the turn. Miguel doing his thing.
Check. Check.
Safe river here for Miguel. He'll win if we get to showdown. Stack the pot ratio. A little under 1. Hearts do come in. Safine could go and rep that, but he's just going to shut it down, and Miguel will get to turn over the winner here. 2 pair, good enough.
Sheesh. Plus 2K with the 9-8 off.
Paolo, you've changed. You used to just go straight to giving me money.
Definitely too busy talking about food. We haven't even talked about food in like a good minute, but you know, it's a good bid. Doug and TLS, if you guys have a question for us and would like us to interact with you, by all means, please put that in the chat. I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have, as long as they are pertinent.
Had a better 9. Had a better 9.
Food related, space related.
I don't blame you.
Conspiracy related.
Exactly. Yeah, let's
Nuclear
keep it
physics
relevant, you know.
God, where's the 10? Put the 10 up.
Of course, we're just having a good time here. Happy to have you guys here in the chat. So,
Beautiful looking.
thanks for hanging out, guys.
I think that's
You
the
and everybody else tuning in this fine evening for hand number 99 here.
Of course it's suited.
99.
I only 4-bet the off-suit variety earlier today.
That's when I have the king queen though.
Oh.
RV Phil and Mr. Delivery battling.
Yeah, RV Phil sticking around.
What's happened?
Flopping Broadway with the Royal Flush redraw.
Yes.
And then you come back, but now you're still
Mr.
playing like
Delivery.
somewhere else. That's what's happening.
Gotta tread lightly, son.
That stupid private
RV
game
Phil
messed
just
up
with
my
an
game.
easily
It's so bad.
pair of threes.
He was looking for the Royale.
Wait, what? So this is where you play good?
Mr. Delivery asks for the run out.
Where is that, Bellagio?
Doesn't get the royal, but wanted to see it.
No, this game was...
Hey, Miguel is back into the black. Look at that, up 185 bucks.
My man is a roller coaster of a ride.
Table. It's not this room.
That means it's...
Up and down.
Yeah.
The full
Going back 2
spectrum.
weeks.
In the red, round even, up to 10,000.
Come on, pancakes.
Back down to even, losing.
Pancakes.
Fun player to watch.
Are soft tacos really tacos? I mean, I say yes.
Too many
I never met a soft taco that I didn't enjoy.
Right.
Oh,
There's the argument that they're a mini burrito.
Oh, really?
It's one of the great glories of life. Is a fucking
I mean, I don't care what you call it. I'm going to eat it. So, mini burrito, soft taco, whatever. All right. RB Phil just going to come along as a call. All the Broadway cards here pretty heavily
had a share of
represented. Comes 5, 4,
strong
4,
pocket
2
pairs.
tone.
This is not going well.
We forgot to do the nightly Kyle shout out since he's always watching.
Oh,
We
damn
should
it.
just have him come in through like Skype from Macau.
Oh yeah, that was.
Do like a little 5-10 minute summary of what he thinks is going on tonight.
Couple of quick folds here. RV Phil going to take this one down. Easy peasy. 2K pot going his way.
So far.
Thank you very much.
Who's Kyle?
Did they just say Kyle's using Macau? That would be
Like a
very
headphone like this on, you know, like a sports
high stakes
commentator.
poker pro of him. I don't understand where Macau is. It's China, right? But it's like offshore or something.
You've been there?
Like you have to take a boat there or something.
Yeah, I'm not particularly familiar with the geography, but I think it's similar to Hong Kong, where it's kind of an island separated from the mainland by not that much, like a river or something, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's like right there, but it's kind of a little bit different, and just by the geographical sort of history has led it to have kind of its own little ecosystem
I think
or
there's
whatever.
also like a
Yeah,
Colorado
they have
River
those-
City in
this
Texas.
wild,
and it's
like
in the
James
complete
Bond,
desert,
high
so
stakes, invite-only games.
Colorado City.
Makes sense. Okay, Colorado City. Okay, there you go. Yeah. But still, that's as opposite from Colorado.
Juan and
as you
all
can
those
get.
other bazillionaires.
Maybe a 3? Like 7?
Well, something here for everybody. 4 hearts on the turn changes nothing. RV Phil is going to go ahead and take a stab with his second pair. Bets 800
Sophina, I only need like 10.
into 12. So
You know
pretty
what's funny?
chunky
I
bet,
only
all
need
things
like
considered.
7.
Just going to try to take this one down.
Bridge
Mike is in there, loading to hit the gut shot or perhaps bluff a river club.
7?
A little bit outside of the MO here for Bridge Mike, but I would love to see it. Mr. M here has the best hand with the top pair no kicker, and he's wondering,
Hang on.
can my hand be good?
We need to run this back.
This is the danger of not betting on the turn when it checks through on the flop. Much prefer to bet the king 6 for a small amount and then reevaluate if you get raised. Going for the check fold feels really bad, especially when the river king of hearts comes off.
2 times.
I have hope.
And I thought Bridge Mike might have intentions of betting a river club, but he's going to bet this river king with the ace queen high. And it looks like
Wow,
RV
and a
Phil
quick
is going
call
to
from
snap
RV
him off.
Phil.
Wow. Nice hand, Phil. Damn, I called it a real weak king. Yeah,
I believe that.
Yeah.
A rare bluff from Bridge Mike on the end there on the paired board.
10 quarter 50. 10 quarter 50.
How about we just do
Phil
10
winning
quarter?
15K tonight.
10
And
quarter
then we'll,
That's a pretty strong showing.
10 quarter 50.
Yeah, hell of a run. That's
You wanna
for
make it
sure.
3 blinds?
15K.
Yes.
I know we've had the $50 straddle on for a good chunk of the night, but if you look at it in terms of $25 blinds,
obviously I'm okay with
that's
50,
Do you
a
want
lot of blinds
Shorty
for him.
and fucking...
Or 10 quarter straddle, whatever. Right?
Or not.
Yeah.
I'll tell you in like 10 minutes.
25.
What? Who cares?
There's going to be
Yeah, I know.
someone
I know.
coming in. Oh, someone's not straddling with a min by ruining the whole game.
10 quarter 50.
Okay, 10 quarter 50. Fine.
And what they don't realize is that it kills their own action because it makes them look like the biggest nit on planet Earth.
it is kind of
When you pay
interesting
someone
how
else who says that, you're just like,
the dynamics of a game that have been like live streamed and then just goes to a regular open game anybody can hop into. Maybe a couple players decide to rack it up when the stream ends and some new faces come in, and that dynamic is something to pay attention to for sure, and sometimes changing the game, you know, specifically making it a double straddle game or something like
Yeah,
that
very much so, yeah.
is
Not even
the
Tor,
way
not
to
even
go.
Tor.
you gotta wait like a week.
Yeah.
You gotta wait like a week for that one.
Oftentimes what we would do here at TCH Austin after the 2-5 live stream is we would change it to a 5-5 game. Didn't really do anything about the way that the game played, but it intentionally made a separate list from the other sort of 2-5 game that was running, so that people specifically had to go and try to get in the 5-5 game, and then they knew that it was going to be 5-5-10 or whatever it was that, you know, we sort of had changed the game to.
Yeah.
You know, because it is possible. I mean, you know, someone comes in to play 1-2 and it's like, oh, we don't have 1-2, but we have this 2-5 seat available. And they're like, yeah, okay, I guess I'll play that for a little bit. And they come and sit down at this game and think that they're going to buy in for a few $100 and whatever. And the rest of us are like, are you at the right table? So.
Check. Bit of 75.
75.
Yeah, that's a teensy tiny little bet. But he does have the best of it, and he's going to win with that tiny bet.
I need to, you know.
I had a pretty good win streak.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you.
All right, looking at those earnings once again. Miguel up $100 right now. Paolo, Mr. M up around 2K. Rich Mike and everyone below stuck a fair amount.
It's called No Limit.
It's rally cap time. About 15 minutes remaining in the stream.
All right, we got the 50 on.
Some of these players that are stuck are going to have to make a move.
Does your backer just not trust
Unless
you
they're just gonna
if
play
he
when the
doesn't
stream
see the
ends.
cards, or like what's the?
Yeah, I mean, that's... I mean, as long as these games continue after the stream, which I think this game almost always does, you don't usually treat it just as like a 4-hour session, you know, in and out and done.
My brother's willing to back me.
But I mean, I have seen that actually, especially here in Austin. Some of these stream games, like the
All right, that makes
2-5 game or something.
Yeah.
Maybe you got some players in from out of town or whatever that came specifically to play the stream, and then they get up and leave, and the game breaks really quick. So every once in a while that can happen.
I'm not gonna suck anything out of any.
The standard is for this game to go on for many more hours.
Raise and just call from Lex O with Ace King in position versus RV Phil.
It always starts out as
Not on the flop.
Did you check?
I don't have cards.
Phil, heads up, bro.
He did a motion like this because my chip was rolling over.
I don't see you.
I don't have
Steven
cards.
doesn't have cards.
Yeah, odd play here
Right. Actually, sir. All right. Now we both check.
from Lex O, trapping from the straddle, I guess, just figures that if he raises, RV Phil's just going to like fold so much, but how is this possible? We're just check, 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 check.
I was thinking.
Yes, there's 4 diamonds out there, but
Top 2 for RV Phil.
It's about 5.
I have a queen of diamonds, Phil.
yeah, RV Phil overbets the river for 500.
Strangest
Seeing
line.
if he can just get Lex O to hero him off
Here you go.
without a diamond, or perhaps even fold a weak diamond,
That
but
would make me the 100.
not to be.
We got 5, 10, 25, 50, 100 on.
It's like Steven over there getting a little antsy. Standing up, gonna do a little stretch.
I want H3 of diamonds.
What's the breakfast?
You just want
That specific hand.
That most resemble breakfast food?
Mr. Delivery, reward of a 7 deuce.
Because it's like you could get a thing.
They used to play that here. They don't. It never gets brought up anymore.
Like it's a pie, right?
I guess maybe because the stakes are so high.
Yeah, it's actually compelling.
Oh, to play the 7 deuce game?
Yeah.
Yeah, it had its moment, that's for sure. I feel like everybody was playing the 7 deuce game for a long time. Then there was the
Yeah.
Robbie game.
It's like a brunch thing.
You know, it's just kind of an ebb and a flow. You know, there's also the stand-up game or whatever where you only get to sit down if you win a hand, and if you're the last one, then you have to pay everybody out. And yeah, little flares on the game to add a little bit of spice, but it does seem like sometimes it just kind of dies out, and you just end up playing regular old poker for a while until people get a little bit bored with it and need to spice it up again.
Well, what's the is?
I feel like it's a scone.
A scone?
A scone is the nut breakfast?
No. I'm not saying what's the best. It's just like the
We're back on the food conversation again.
This wasn't our fault. This was the players.
Yeah. Let's. I hope those guys are still in the chat. This is for them.
I would say crepe.
Crepe is the nut breakfast?
Well,
No, I'm talking about like what resembles like eights.
That's
E7 in the
just
mug.
make it one,
Shorshi
though, right?
takes
It's
down.
probably like, multiple things fall in one category. There's no
But you know how
best
people,
breakfast.
like people call like pocket eights like snowmen.
Yeah.
It's because like of the visual resemblance.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do that breakfast food wise. Like pancakes would probably be like 10.
Is anybody thirsty here?
How would
10? I thought it would be 8.
Very round.
Oh, I
5, 10, 25.
I have some. I was supposed to be here too.
So what
Such
are
an
eggs?
unnecessary argument.
Yeah.
Actually,
Queens?
Lauren, can I get a?
This is such a weird
Queens is
freaking
eggs
game.
and stripes of bacon.
This is all about perspective,
No,
bro. How are you going to look at it?
Queens is an eggs, 2 eggs with 2 stripes of bacon.
Obviously.
Oh man.
Okay, 3 minutes more.
Basic.
Yeah, this whole situation.
You got sailboats, right? You got the 4s, sailboats.
Pancakes and eggs and, Mostly pancakes, to be honest.
Pancakes are goated. I freaking love pancakes.
You can eat them all. I don't need no pancakes.
You
Oh,
don't?
Miguel doesn't have the 5-3 this time, but he does have the 7-3.
Also, again, if trying to think of things that visually resemble.
$200 bet from Miguel.
Yeah.
Pair.
They look like gross. Overly crunchy and not enough filling.
Oh, I'm trying to, you know.
Check.
What would be Totino's pizza rolls for Max?
Bagel bites.
Full house. Three's full.
Did we tell you when we were in Florida, Max?
7.
Small bet here from Miguel gets snapped off by a Shorshi.
Like, we went grocery shopping.
The two-pair ace high.
Yeah. He gets a thing of
Miguel
Totino's
is
pizza
going to
rolls.
get paid there. That's going to move him up into fully positive territory. Up just sort of like a couple trips to the burger shop or whatever. Now going to be up 2K? No, 1K. Up 1K.
Oh, it's man, poker's such a beautiful game.
Mr. Delivery no longer at the bottom spot. Shorshi having a worse night than Mr. Delivery so far.
Time for the 100, time for the 2.
Oh, one's on.
$100. Paolo, put the 2 on, baby. 2, put the 2.
Time for the 4.
We have the 200 on.
200 on?
This is where.
Why do I listen to this?
Come on, baby. Come on.
This is
bring
where
it
people
home.
get.
Let's go. This could be a huge hand.
my
$100
chance.
straddle.
Put the 200 on, Max
pancakes.
is gonna like full jack free.
Come on, pancakes.
So with 2 threes. Now you got to make it. Oh, he just open folds the threes.
On earlier and I raised 10.
Bridge mark
Yeah, I
ace
think
king.
that sort of fits with what we've seen here as of late. I mean, it's pretty marginal. It's not, you know, it's not going to play super great, even though you are on the button. Yeah, I mean, he just flatted the ace king earlier. It does sort of seem like maybe the tempo there for Lex is just sort of tapering off a little bit.
Where's Assassin?
Paolo
You put a little cheese out.
putting in
all
a
the
saucy
rest of it.
three-piece with the
Golden line.
nut low, running into it with Bridge Mike. Bridge Mike might just rip it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, this is something that Paolo probably needed to have in mind before raising Bridge Mike. Is like, what happens if he does just stuff it?
If that is an
Please let me be able to fold this.
Alright, there's 25, 35, 4.
Okay, so pretty clear that he had not gone through the motions of just determining how much money Bridge Mike had in front of him.
55, 95, or sorry, 55, 75. So, yeah. So we got
55, 95?
4, 5, 54, 75, 54, 75.
discount.
All right, so Bridge Mike has a little bit less than what we can see here.
Only 375 more.
31.75 more.
Yeah, I mean, this is, all things considered, this is a very small re-raise. Like, literally, if he was just playing the deuce by itself,
His head, like in the inside,
I mean,
there's a monkey.
he could convince himself that he would have 25% equity against 2 overcards.
It's not annoying.
Shorshi had the right amount just in case you
But he knows that, like, Bridge Mike is just not doing this with any sort of airball, right?
Yeah.
Like, sort of his best case scenario is that it's ace king or pocket kings. Or, I mean, like, and no matter what, no matter how he figures this out, like, it's going to be like 30% equity.
Here we go.
Gamble 12-7 in the middle. Ace deuce versus ace king. Bridge Mike all in.
And Paolo's already exposed the deuce, so whether the rest of the cards have come over or not, like, Bridge Mike knows that he doesn't want to see a deuce. And it's the deuce of clubs.
Oh no, aces and kings.
You win.
That's it. The deuce high flush run out for Paolo is going to stack Bridge Mike.
Get out. That's ridiculous.
And
Chosen one
that
strikes again.
Hey, amen. Amen to that. Nice hand, Paolo.
Ridiculous behavior.
yeah, I mean, that, like, yeah,
Unbelievable.
he just kind of priced himself in, making a little bit of a move, found himself in a spot where it's like, I shouldn't fold. I know I'm behind, but I shouldn't fold, and he does find the call, gets there, and just runs pure. Why not?
Mike, more chips.
That is
GG's, Mike.
disgusting. GG's to Bridge Mike, unless he's rebuying.
Yeah. I'm just getting a DoorDash.
Florida 20. Florida 20.
No, it sounds
Get him out.
like
Ace deuce off. Get him out.
sounds like Bridge Mike is going to call it right there.
I'd probably be calling it as well. That's just not a fun beating experience.
Yeah, not so much.
All right, here we go.
What's happening here?
Supposed to be in your hand. 60 skills.
All right, we got the 50 on. No small blind.
Paolo had the deuce of clubs again, but decided not to play.
Thank you. Yeah, why did I get a nice hand?
If I had known that was going to be the run, I would have
25.
Maybe it wasn't a nice hand. Who knows?
Thank you.
That was the whole thing. I was hoping he had more, but it was like,
Okay, RB Phil raises it up over to Mr. M. He makes the call. And Mr. Delivery will complete from the big straddle as well. So 3 players to a flop. Jack, Jack, 6. 2 pair here for Mr. Delivery and RV Phil. Checks through
Wait till you see what just
4
happened.
of hearts now. Mr. Delivery here, I think Steven's going to feel pretty good about his hand.
Yeah, it's worth the wait, I think, in this time.
Definitely a spot
It
to
really
start
is.
betting, get a little bit of value if possible, but he's just going to check and instead give RV Phil an opportunity to take a stab at this.
Who's coming? Sorry, what now?
We are heads up. Check. 2 pairs.
Which 2?
Check call and check check Mr. Delivery. And take this one down, jacks and 8s.
Oh, damn it. Button was bad. Button's better now.
Hasn't run great, nor has he really had many opportunities tonight either. Not a great combo.
Once we get past numbers, let's go ahead and stop.
Yeah, and honestly, you look there, Safine, Mr. Delivery, Shorshi, all stuff pretty healthy amounts here this evening.
So it's like when the turn's the king of clubs, it's like Mike can't even have the hope of checking his hand for there to be a
Tough
club.
spots going around.
Last 2-card hand of the night, then one final bomb pot. And we will be sending everyone home.
He knows he has 18.
And I will be sending myself to the Taco Bell.
Excellent. All
for
right.
food.
Well, I hope it treats you well. I hope your body accepts.
This time will
Taco
be
Bell.
different, for sure. I'm sure this time will be different.
You get no free roll. No.
All right, Lexo, you're going to open it up with the Ace King Shorshi calls.
Sadly, it's a 100.
And everyone else out of the way.
So I need to somehow win $10,000 in this hand. No, it's not no limit for a reason.
No, I'm up for like 23.
Here we go, heads up.
Monotone. Pretty nice board for Lex O.
I agree.
Green chips.
Bet 75 and a fold. All right, buttons correct. Thanks so much, guys. It is bomb pot time. $100 out there if you want to play the bomb pot.
All right. Wrap things up here with a $100 PLO Bomb Pot.
And all is well.
Play one final huge one.
Yeah, that'd be good. I'll take straight flush over.
Steven had quad once and got paid.
I did.
100 in the middle, 4 cards face down, 2 flops. Round of betting. 2 turns, 2 rivers. Rounds of betting in between. Thank you to everybody that joined us for the last 110 hands. It's been a pleasure. Always been a great time to spend 4 hours with a bunch of strangers online talking about the game we all love.
Was very, very,
A
very
nice little $5
very
super chat here. Is that a super chat? Do they look like that now? Looks like it. From Doug here. $5 for Kirby to get some dude wipes.
For my post Taco Bell experience, thank you, Doug R. That was a very generous donation. Be sure to put those to good use. It's crude.
Some crude wipes.
Crude wipes. That's right. And we don't have a full picture of what everyone holds in their hand, but we do see Mr. M flopping the nuts on the bottom. Pair and a straight draw on the top. Bottom set for Paolo.
Just for editorial purposes.
Ace, king, double suited for RV Phil. Wow.
That's my fault.
And on these boards, too. You're like,
yeah,
come on.
the worst
where's my
set of
Broadway
boards.
card?
Two rainbow flops.
Oh, he did say pot.
That's my mistake.
But he's still betting.
This
Full pot
feels
for
aggressive.
800 here.
Miguel's like, damn, well, if I knew the pot was 800, I would bet.
My bad, Miguel. It's been a long night, all right?
And when the two boards look this similar, it does make it to where it's like, it's tough for someone to have, you know, a lot of pairs because like all the cards are out there on the table. But also, if somebody has something, they've got it on both boards, and it's kind of dangerous. With two back doors, over pairs, you know, maybe just get one through one time, says RV Phil. Mr. M not going anywhere with the nuts on bottom, but he is the only taker.
Okay, so RV Phil hits bottom or hits top set on the bottom, although he's losing to Mr. M on the bottom. The ace is still ahead on top for RV Phil, but a chance to scoop if the bottom board pairs. 2,400.
Putting Mr. M in a tough spot. Mr. M here with just the one pair in the gut shot on the top board is really just kind of like, please can I somehow just hold with the nuts on bottom to get half of the pot back? Because my chances of improving on top are very slim. I mean, we can see that he's actually got a ton of two pair outs that are good. So he does go for the check and the call. Here we go. Stack
got a
pot
pot
ratio
brewing here,
is
folks.
1/2. Mr. M could be all in an instant.
He hits it. 7-9 gets there on, or Jack 9 gets there.
Yeah. Popped in my headphones.
Jack 9 gets there. So he scoops.
Yeah.
Mr.
And
M.
now is just the time to stuff it all in
Nut.
there. Yeah.
I didn't do anything. Oh, okay. That's funny.
He broke up with poker that day.
So now you got a pot at 3,500 behind, or go all in.
Take a break. All in. 200. I was gonna do that anyways.
Yeah. Oh, did RV Phil turn over his hand?
I'm sorry?
Oh no.
All in for less. So sorry.
I think
So
maybe RV Phil felt like he
sorry, that's my fault.
had the option or something. I don't know. The fact that Mr. M said I was going to do that anyway sort of indicates to me that there's some sort of confusion there. That Mr. M is trying to assure him that he wasn't just trying to take advantage of something that he may have seen. But God, these are some nasty looking boards for ace, ace, king, king.
Yeah. Had so much potential turning the set of kings.
No, he's all in for 34 to 25.
Yeah, and RV Phil here, after having just a real nice batch of run good there for a minute, up about 15K, I think, before the start of this hand, is now looking at dusting off a significant chunk of that. Already 3,200 in the middle that he will not be getting back.
He does call. Wow, what a gift.
Yeah, and Phil announces nut.
Perfect 10 of spades on the river. $14,000 pot to cap the night off for Mr. M. Nice.
It's going to be
PLO player's been playing for a decade now.
All right, that's going to do it for us from here from Dallas. It's been Aaron and Biz K with you for the last 4 hours. Aaron, any parting words for the folks at home?
Just want to thank everybody for tuning in, for enjoying this fine broadcast of 5, 10, 25 here with Lex O joining us. Happy to have been part of it with you all, and I hope you all have a great evening.
Awesome, thank you. And for everybody here at TCH Dallas, we appreciate you joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow live from Austin at 6 p.m. Central Time.
But until then, good night, everybody.
Take care. Good night.
I'm out. Sorry.